These taps going. These taps going. I gotta put this thing on. So there. I gotta see. What is it? Oh no, Celtics getting towed up. Knicks ain't playing. That's what we lost by. I think we lost to the Knicks. Show how good that team was again. Like the Celtics losing. Nevenisha, what's up? Ain't seen her in 200 years. Jason Tatum got an injury. Oh my, that's they about to for sure lose. Oh, they lost their main guy. As soon as they lost Jason Tatum, that's crazy. That is crazy. What up, dude? What's up? Let's see. Just in the house bored. Oh yeah, I feel it. It be them days. I get it. I get it. Same here. I'm just over here getting back to it. So I'm gonna start on Wednesdays, get these topics going and stuff. Otherwise, been grinding all week though. I had to deal like 11 hours today. So I'm having a long week. I don't think I gotta work this weekend too. Well, we'll see. It's life as an adult. See. It's actually scientifically proven that couples can become addicted to each other. Yep, I figured that. I had to ask that question. Did I even watch? Let's talk about that. I think I did it. Yeah. I gotta see something. All right. They can't even experience withdrawals when apart. Oh my, that's serious then. Yeah, that's serious then. A true addiction right there. People be thinking it's a. That's why I had to ask: is it a healthy addiction? Because people just feel like, I think that's also clinginess can be a form of an addiction, and it can also be insecurity at the same time too when it's kind of clinginess. So that's why I kind of mixed them both in a little bit. We'll see. I'm about to be off this thing at 9:30. 9:30. All right. So I gotta grab this. Did I get vitamins now? I don't know.
What you got going on, my boy?
What up, man? Ain't nothing. What up, man? What you got up for me, my brother?
Nothing. Just chilling after I got back from work,
Said
dealing with a work
nothing.
meeting.
Said nothing.
So even without my glasses, I could read the purple and white prompt. That's interesting.
Oh, we making it now in these streets. He can actually read. What?
Now, I mean, are we just talking about video games, or are we just talking about shit in general? Still can't read the black and yellow though. That shit too small.
Yeah, hold on real quick. Oh, yeah, you said video games. Yeah, so we can use that as a that's ironic. So, do you know when you're gaming is an addiction, a hobby, or a coping mechanism?
No, for me, it's a hobby. Now, you want me
It's
to
a
tell you
hobby.
what a coping mechanism is? Music.
Hmm. So, music is a coping mechanism. Hmm.
For a lot of people, yeah,
Can it be a hobby?
it can.
Hmm. That's the thing. That's what I'm getting
But
to.
right. But the reason why I'm using music specifically is because your body, your brain, uses music to feel emotion without projecting it physically
Hmm.
because it's all based off frequency. Same thing with video games. You're still looking at a frequency, you're still hearing a frequency. But can that frequency become addictive? Yes,
Right.
along
Right.
with anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it all has its place, but it all has a consequence too.
Yo, what's good? I'm male 18. What are we talking about today?
Thought about got you.
So, dude, it's kind of scary that people.
That's what we talking about.
It's kind of scary that people.
That's what we talking about.
Now, Kev, I really need you to make me a Lord, my coffee cup. I really need you to put me back as a mod.
You done freaking what you call it? The oh shoot, you know mods can still kick mods, but I was about to say I barely even got room for it. I had to take out old mods. I had to take out old mods just to make some new ones that's actively in my room. I barely got in. Trying to still see who ain't been in here like that.
Like I said, I'm the OG original.
Man, you lost that a
I
long time ago.
oh no, I still
I
come in, cause chaos, and rectify problems.
remember that day too. I was like, dog, I had to take half your powers, and eventually I had to take all the powers. I was like, dog.
Yeah, I already know.
But I gotta keep my stuff. Nah, just for because I even had to take out some of the other ones that's about been here as long as you. I take some of their stuff away because they ain't been in here like that. So I need like active mods around in here.
All right, so basically, what you're telling me is you've got roughly about 5 people that are actively in the situation, and the rest of them are just coming
Yeah, the
through.
ones that don't be in here as much, I done already removed them already. Especially if I see them in other rooms more often. I be like, all right, I just need room for other people because I be getting more and more new people and stuff on anyway. Sheesh.
Now, I do have a
So,
question.
mama, what's the deal?
What's going on with some of this misandry that I be seeing?
What's that?
So, what's up with some of this misandrous actions I be seeing?
What's that? What is that? Like, for what?
Like that small group of misandrous women that were in here justifying their bad behavior and
I
their
done
vitriol
forgot.
towards men.
I done forgot. It sound familiar though. It might. Mm-mm. You
That
know,
night
they
I
all
came
around
in,
this app. They all around this
yeah,
app.
I already know. But that night that I came in and I cussed all them females out for acting like they got moral righteous justification for their misandrous conversation towards men that ain't doing nothing to them.
Yeah, people hurt.
Yeah, well, they need to go to therapy.
They don't know what to go to therapy for.
Because, like I told them, y'all want to play with fire? I'm the embodiment of fire. We gonna get burnt together.
How you gonna say you need therapy and then do that? Do you need that? Mean you need therapy then? If you trying to go eye for eye with them.
No, it ain't even eye for eye. I am literally walking, breathing embodiment of the word fire.
Yeah, so that's all you need therapy. I
Nah,
thought the whole point. So is the point of you saying they need therapy is just to offend them, or you really trying to help them?
no, I'm really trying to help them because,
So if
truth
you're trying
be
to help them,
told,
why would you bring fire to them when you could be helping them? You
because
could encourage them.
sometimes you gotta touch the stove and get burnt to recognize that you have a problem. I keep
Yeah.
trying to explain that. Like, Kev, look, when I say that, I am no exception to what I just said. I aptly go to therapy on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't go to therapy, I let my intrusive thoughts be what they act on them, then I would be the bad guy for taking care of business when it comes to all the wrongs that I see around me. And I'm not talking about towards me, I'm talking about towards people that have done no harm to somebody and somebody's harming them verbally, physically, emotionally. But then again, you know, acknowledging that there's a problem, acknowledging how to fix the problem, and stop being the problem are 3 different things.
Mm.
Why do you think, Kev, when I pop into the room, first thing I do is I sit down there, I listen. As long as it's like this where you and I are talking and there ain't nobody in here on no bullshit. You know what I mean? I'll sit in the comment section and I'll listen, and then when I hear somebody on some bullshit, that's when I pop up. Because I'm either gonna get them to acknowledge with their own pattern and words what they're saying is bullshit, or I'm gonna make them self-destruct and realize that I see right through them.
Interesting.
Because at the end of the day, nobody's perfect. At least in modern times, I should say nobody's perfect.
Hmm. Yeah, I gotta do me a few short lives because I got a long week. So I'm doing a few hours on this thing and I'm off. I even gotta do a little bit on Friday too because I gotta go to work on Saturday. Saturday probably be my longest live.
Well, that's what's up, bro.
Doing a little
As long as you
something
keep
though.
doing your thug fizzle, bro, that's all that matters. You know, you got my support. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and tap that screen up right quick while I'm thinking about it. Ain't nobody in here to watch me do it, so
What the heck? He actually tapping the screen? What?
yeah. Kev, you know I tap the screen. I just
I
don't
didn't
tap the
even know that
screen
was
every time.
possible.
Just only when I'm
I haven't seen you
toasting.
tapping the screen since 2020. Miracles.
Hey,
I haven't seen it since he was. That was back in 2020. I first met him.
hey, hey. I gotta show some love because ain't
My
nobody
boy
here.
acting different around here. Okay.
I don't
I
look.
didn't even think that. I didn't even.
I'm only doing it because it's just you and me. Ain't nobody up here trying to boss me around. Make it genuine.
Hey, this thing.
Oh man, I know. Did you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. Yeah.
Yeah, make it genuine. You can't just pop in and somebody tell you to do it. Nah, you gotta do it because that's in your heart.
Mm-hmm. I get you. I get you.
That
Say
part.
genuine, right?
That right. That part. But yeah, bro, like I be popping in. I just don't let people notice. You know how to shadow tap?
What is the heck is that? Oops.
Okay, like okay, so shadow bans happen, right? There's a thing that you can do with there. I don't know which app it is now because they got rid of the other tap apps. But there's a way to shadow tap where you can send likes and it doesn't register like on the like count up above, but it'll register later when you go look back at your likes.
Oh, that.
But yeah, bro, like gotta give that love, bro, because you one of the few that I still go behind and look after. Cause you ain't playing no games.
Yes, sir. Where did I? Oh, let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to look this.
So I do have a question. Why is my iPhone so trash, but my Android just be on go mode?
Huh.
And I ain't
Mm.
trying to throw no hate on no iPhone users, but like this is one of the reasons why I stopped using iPhone. I could just overlay the iPhone stuff on my Android and it same thing. Now, how would you like to see that? There's an app that allows you to take your Android and have all the features that iPhone have, including FaceTime.
Something different pleasure to make money. Leisure
Good
time.
evening, ma'am. How are you doing?
What the? I don't see her disappear. Mom in the building.
What's up, Kev? Good evening.
Yo, what's up? Been all right?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
And how are you, Imperial?
Well. I'm not on bullshit and fuckery right now until somebody comes with some drama and then I get that fun. Um,
Well, I didn't cause it, so not my dog, not my fight.
correct, correct, very much so. I
Amen.
come in, I come in and check on Kev from time to time. I keep a look at his algorithm and stuff, so that way if I see anything, I make sure I pop in and cause some chaos and get all the riffraff out of here.
I had to look it up, so anything can be a hobby.
Anything
Well, I
can be a
mean,
hobby.
Yeah, I looked it up. I had to look it up. I said, can anything be a hobby? I'm like, dang, I didn't know that.
hold
Yeah.
on. You say that, but I'm going to give you an example of something that most people don't think is a hobby, but it actually is. Botany, right? Which is the study of plants.
You said what?
Botany.
Botany? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That can be a hobby, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what would be a form of botany that most people don't classify as botany?
Do you mean like something like gardening?
No.
With the green bean?
There you
Mary
go.
J?
There
All
you
right, that's
go.
we both all right. That's what I was.
That would be a hobby, and that would also be a form of botany.
Oh, you was talking about the Mary Jane.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
figured
that would
you was
be
talking about that.
right, but that would definitely be a hobby, and that would definitely be a form of botany because everybody knows what their favorite strain is, right? Right. So
So
there's
how do we know?
hobby.
I'm gonna put it this way. How do we know this? That's why I got this topic like this though. So how do we know when it's a hobby or a coping mechanism or an addiction or addiction? We're gonna stick with the green bean then. Let's go ahead and talk about that then. When do we know
All
it's an
right.
addiction and when do we know it's a coping mechanism? Now that we know it could be a hobby.
Okay. So I would like for Ma to go first because I want to give my take after I hear somebody else's because mine just might just be extra as all fucking get out. I ain't even gonna hold
Um, so a hobby is, I guess let's start off by definition. A hobby is something that you do as a pastime, right? A hobby is, I'm not working, I don't have anything to do or whatever. Let me find something to do and let me find that thing I enjoy and do
Hmm.
that. Um, an addiction is I cannot I cannot proceed with my day. I cannot function without this.
Mm.
It interfere not having it causes withdrawal. Not having it may cause me to have a mental breakdown. Not having it may cause me physical, mental, maybe even emotional symptoms. Coping mechanism. This is what I do when I'm triggered by something. This is what I do when I'm stressed. This is what I do
Mm.
when, I'm upset. I need to, you know, you hit the Benjamin when I'm upset or when I'm stressed, when I'm sad, whatever negative emotion is coming out of me, I use this to help soothe me.
I was about to add you, but I forgot I had you already. I said, "Oh, she reminded me why." It's like it's a reminder at the bottom. Let somebody name reminder in here. That's crazy. But all right. Oh, that was nice. I like how she broke that one down. All right, so yeah,
you.
yeah,
Right.
you do the definition too. Then you got one part. And then we go. I want to talk about that Mary Jane after that too. Like we gonna put it in three different sections. Cause some people believe that it's a hobby, but it really
Now,
be.
Kev, can you hear me?
Nah, you got one bar. Actually, this topic came from
My fucking iPhone's on
me and
bullshit.
my boo was going kind of did a little early morning debate, but we ended up,
I was
she
gonna ask you,
chose.
where is she?
She done got stuck in her live. She was supposed to been over here, but she got stuck over there. But it's
Okay, I saw. Were you in her live?
yeah, I was in there earlier. Yeah,
Okay, because I thought it was your live, and I was like, okay, I like them. They're funny. I like people who make me laugh. So I was like, okay, I'll pop in there. Then I was like, wait, was it their live? Was it his? I didn't know it was her, so I left.
yeah, it was hers. Yeah. Hopefully, I didn't catch it when it was horrible. When it was probably going back and forth. They probably had some stuff going on. There was this one girl that was venting like crazy up there.
I think they were talking about the statue in
Yeah, yeah.
Can you
in
hear me
Times
now?
Square.
Yeah, here you go.
Good.
All right. So, like I said, I had to switch from my iPhone 15, that's brand new, to my Android, which is like 5 years old.
Interesting.
It's crazy.
All right, what you
Now,
got for me? What's the three differences?
Hey,
all
peace to the
right.
panel. Hope y'all are doing okay.
What up, Willis?
Good
Grand
evening.
Rising Wilson. All
Hey, can
right.
I hit that
So,
first prompt or no?
Yeah,
go
right
ahead,
after.
bro.
Oh, okay.
No, you can go ahead.
Would cleanliness to a partner be considered an addiction?
Oh
Is
no,
that
we ain't
healthy?
on that one yet.
So,
No,
oh,
we in
you're
the
not on
purple and
that one?
white,
Which
my
one are
guy.
you on?
For
Purple and white.
The hobby addictions coping?
what's the
Wait,
difference?
hold on. Which?
Okay, so I'll read it out to you. Is a
Oh, I
hobby,
see what you're saying.
is it
Yeah.
a
Okay.
hobby, an addiction, or a coping mechanism? What is the difference?
Okay, so when you're saying, is it a hobby, are you talking about smecks?
No, we're talking
Anything.
about
Anything.
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 And the specific that I'm using as an example is
Well, most things are probably addictions and coping mechanisms. I mean,
oh,
hobbies are generally healthy, but if what you're doing isn't healthy and it's not productive, it doesn't improve your health or anything like that, then it's probably an addiction or coping mechanism.
okay. So I'm going to give you the same premise that I gave both of them. Can botany be a hobby? Can botany be a hobby?
Can what? Bopping?
Botany.
No. Botany.
What is
Botany
bopping?
is
That sounds
is
crazy.
botany the whole plant thing? Well, what is botany?
The study of plants.
Oh, it is a plant thing. Okay. Yeah, that can be a hobby. Yeah.
Okay, so if you smoke the ganja, the deadest, the levels deadest,
No, that's an addiction
no, sir.
because you're not studying it. You're just getting high,
No, hold on. Because there are
and you stink
people.
like shit too after smoking weed. It's a worse smell.
Hold on. Before you
Go ahead.
give any negative or positive examples, I want you to understand the premise of why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because there are people that are botanists that grow plants for consumption, right? Their hobby is botany. The plant is the side effect of their hobby, correct?
You can twist it all you want. You're a
No,
drug addict if you getting high
Okay, time out.
weed.
Time out. Okay,
Hold on.
time out. Hold on. So, Wellington, I disagree. I think that using it recreationally does not automatically characterize you as an addict. It doesn't automatically label you as a user. I think if you're someone who uses it once in a while, like, my husband and I, once in a blue, maybe twice a year, if we're on vacation or whatever it is, that's I don't even think it can classify as a
Okay,
hobby,
so
addiction, or
twice a
coping
year, I would
mechanism.
argue that you're right. You're not necessarily addicted to it. You're just
Right,
doing
but you're
something
kind of saying off.
disgusting that offends people around you, but you're not
Right,
necessarily addicted to it. So
right.
yeah.
While you
Right.
right, and so I understand it's something that you seem to be against, and that's fine. I'm not here to change your mind, but I just don't think that we can automatically characterize it as you're an addict. You smell like shit all the time, and blah blah blah. When now, if you're saying, like I said earlier, if you're saying, "Hey, I can't go on with my day. I can't get into my car before I leave my house in the morning, when I get home from work, before I go to work, before I eat, after I eat." That's an addiction, yes. But if you're just like, what, after a hard day at work, I might take a hit off a pen or whatever, then that's not really an addiction. It's just kind of a recreation
I think.
or a hobby.
Or a
Yeah.
coping
Oh, I'm
mechanism.
about to say what coping. The way you said it right at the work.
Right.
Or
right.
coping, yes.
Yeah,
Right.
but
So
I like that you did that. That's why I'm trying to see the difference. Because I want everybody in because I feel like this is important. That's why I had to talk about. I'm going to talk about this a couple of times too. Yeah, because some people
now,
think that it's a hobby and it's really an addiction. Some people
right.
think sometimes it's a coping mechanism. So it just
Right.
depends.
Right. So let me finish giving the whole premise because you two caught it without having me to go in full ideological detail. So, with that, this is what I'm going to say. There are 3 different strains, ruderalis, indica, sativa, right? They have different functions on how they help the human body. Some people smoke it, some people eat it, whatever. Some people rub the oil on their skin. However, it has a medicinal use. Yes, it can be a coping mechanism. Yes, it can be an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
The part that I'm talking about as a botanist is a hobby. So that's why I'm giving the premise. I'm doing the hobby first. Then we'll get into the addiction and the coping mechanism because we're breaking it down piece by piece.
Jesus Christ, brother, I don't want you to take this the wrong way. Man, it takes a really long time for you to say anything. This is painful, man. Is there any way you can summarize it? Again, no disrespect, but can you summarize your thing?
Okay, so I'll just be ignorant and belligerent with it. Let me stop talking like I got some class and some education. Let me talk like I'm
No,
an
I got
ignorant
nothing
thug.
but respect for you, brother, and I wasn't coming at you crazy, I
No,
promise you.
I'm satire, my brother, satire.
Okay.
Okay. So, to make the long and short of it, it's like this. The botanist is doing it as a hobby. The person that can't live without it after they go through certain actions through the day, it's an addiction. Somebody that's had a hard day and just wants to blow one back, it's a coping mechanism.
I get you. I see the difference.
Let's get Glacier in.
Hi.
What you got for me? We on the first purple one. Do you know the difference between hobby, addictions, and coping mechanisms?
Well, hobbies to each their own. Anyone can have a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could be stitching up animals that
Mm-hmm.
taxidermy. That could be a hobby, but addiction. I think that is when something that you're doing is starting to impact yourself negatively and maybe the people around you too.
Mm-hmm.
And coping mechanisms. I think that everyone has to find their own coping mechanism, but it takes intellectual people to understand the thresholds of when something is becomes addiction to them. I've never struggled with addiction. I don't have addiction to anything, so I haven't personally been in that realm where I have been able to acknowledge, oh, I'm addicted to something. So because I've never been addicted to anything, I always take things in moderation.
Okay. All right. All right. Dang. All right. Let's get to this next one then. Unless y'all wanted to expand on the, because I did want to. I guess we kind of summed it up of the difference with the green building stuff. Then
Now,
the green
Kev,
building.
I have, before we move on, I want to ask this question. I'm going to pick some brains real quick, some gray matter. Okay? So, Glacier. Glacier.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, questions to you. Same thing I asked Wellington. Is botany a hobby? Or can it be a hobby?
It can be, yeah.
Okay. Is smoking the devil's lettuce or the ganja, can that be a hobby?
Yeah.
Okay. Can it also be an addiction and a coping mechanism?
I
smoking,
don't think it's
the
a
consuming
coping
part.
mechanism. I think it's definitely an addictive substance.
Mm.
Actually, I would
Okay.
argue that it's one of the most addicting substances.
How do you figure?
Well, if you look at per capita and statistic rates, I mean, look at how many people are doing it. Look how many people who do it and continue to do it with no moderation at all.
Mm.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you, outside of the exception to the rule, which would be allergies, right? Has it ever harmed anybody in the
I
form
think
of
that
unaliving?
yeah, absolutely. It's called. I'm not going to say it on here, but it starts with an F and ends with an L. But those, when does that substance that young people get a hold of ever not laced with something?
No, it by itself, not something that's added to it. It by itself in its natural state.
It can, yeah. It's negative. It can, yeah. It's negative. If you don't need medicine, you shouldn't be taking it. It has
Okay.
medicinal properties to it.
Correct.
That's like me taking ibuprofen gummies because I think they taste good, or vitamin gummies. It's improper.
Okay. So can you classify sugar the same way?
Sugar?
Yeah, sugar.
No, because sugar is not a medicinal property. That doesn't alter your hormones.
So you're saying there's no such thing as sugar addiction?
No, I'm talking about the effects of the devil's lettuce, specifically what it does.
If I can quickly interject, sugar can actually alter your hormones, primarily your insulin level, which is a hormone.
Which comes from your endocrine system, which is your pancreas.
I disagree with that. Our bodies are definitely more than sufficient enough to process those items. We've been eating sugar since the dawn of caveman. But I want to say
Go ahead.
I want to say also to that this substance, this devil's lettuce. I have to say that silly word, but I think that there's a lot of things to it that people don't understand how it works. Like, I mean, for instance, comparing the sugar and the devil's lettuce, you can't have that as a child. Your brain isn't even developed yet. Children can have sugar; they can eat those things. It's for everyone.
That's about our biggest addiction today, though.
Okay, time out. So, and I don't mean to cut you off, but you seem like you're going somewhere with this. And before I forget, because I'm old. So we have to remember that the sugar we are consuming now in most of its forms is not the same as what
Natural sugar
was
is.
being consumed many years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Sugar can actually alter hormones, like I mentioned, by affecting the insulin levels.
Is it psychological? Because the devil's lettuce is a psychological narcotic. Absolutely, it is.
Yes, but also there are arguably, you can argue that there are medicinal benefits to Mary Jane.
Yeah, if you're like wounded in the leg by a bullet, then you should do it. Yeah, but not just sitting on the couch because you have back pain.
Well, okay, so
If you have back pain, so something that is more natural, it is grown from the earth as opposed to something that is made in a lab. In my personal opinion, now this is subjective, I would prefer that over anything made in a lab 100 times.
And okay, let me respond with this. Also, what is the number one way that people consume that substance, the devil's lettuce? It's by burning, right?
they smoke it.
Yeah. So for instance, the first thing I gotta say about that is that it's horrible. The way you're ingesting sugar, you're doing it naturally. You're swallowing it, you're chewing it, and you're digesting it. This one is unnatural. It's not natural to inhale carbon dioxide. When you burn something, it becomes carbon dioxide. So you're inhaling all this stuff, and it's leading to tooth rot, gum cavities, all kinds of health issues that can happen in your mouth and your lungs and your brain.
So there's now the issue with research is that no matter what your position is, you're going to find anything to support that. So if you are someone who's pro marijuana or Mary Jane, you're going to find articles, you're going to find any type of, information that supports that position. The same if you are against it. Now, again,
Well, we can both agree that inhaling carbon dioxide smoke is bad for you. That has no benefit at all.
that does not have a benefit. I agree with you. However, there are other ways that people consume it. As the other gentleman mentioned, there are edibles. You could also do oils. Some people may, there are other ways that you can reap the benefits of it. There's no way. Sugar is far more detrimental. One of the main reasons why we have so many health issues in not only in this country but in this world is primarily because of the sugar. It is in everything. There is mounting evidence that shows that when you stop or even drastically reduce your sugar intake, your health can improve greatly simply by A, losing weight, B, improving your blood sugar levels, your insulin levels, especially if you're diabetic. Also, it will help regulate your hormones. I can go on and on and on about the benefits of reducing your sugar intake, but you can't completely eliminate it because it's naturally occurring sugar. But
Right.
the processed and refined and all that other stuff, you can't. I don't think it's fair to compare it to Mary Jane.
Now, the reason why I brought up sugar as an example and difference is because processed sugar is the reason why the pancreas stops working, because when they process it a certain way, which builds a bacteria on it, and that's a microscopic entity, which causes the destruction of your pancreas. And this is something that I've known for 2 decades. I'm 38 years old. Okay? So Alzheimer's is the 3rd stage of diabetes. That's just been put out within the last 5-6 years, and I've known that again for 2 decades. When I use sugar as an example, I'm using it as an example because natural sugar, cane sugar, is brown. Comes out brown in a liquid. That's why it looks the way that it looks, right? When you process it, you bleach it, it becomes white. Most things that are found in nature that are white are usually not good for your health, which you would say white rice, white grain in general is not good for you. Brown grains are good for you. And that's just been proven. So when you look at what I'm talking about the difference between processed or synthesized versus the natural. Okay? We could say the same thing for Mary Jane. Processed strains have an adverse effect on the body and the mind. Natural strains have a positive effect on the body and mind. Used correctly, anything used inappropriately is going to cause detrimental effects to your body and your mind. Right? Is that something we can agree on, Glacier?
I'm trying to process what you're saying.
Okay. Let me say it in layman's terms. Natural good, man-made synthesized bad, ugly.
I disagree.
That's not layman. That's caveman.
I disagree. I like some of the synthetic things. They're actually better.
I think anything is bad if you don't eat it in balance or moderation, though.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
the reason why I'm saying it like that, Glacier, is because I can give you 4 different substances that have been around since the mid-1800s that are booming. Okay? Fentanyl. That's been around since the mid-1800s. It didn't become popular again until the last decade. Right? And now it's a problem. Carfentanil. Okay? That's one of the most dangerous substances on the planet. It's a man-made substance. Right? I'm going to do another one. mushrooms. Portobello mushrooms are found naturally, right? You can eat those. Then there are other mushrooms that are not as good for you because their basis is a poison to the human body, right? That's 2 out of the 4 that I'm going to mention. Then you have the coca plant. You chew a coca leaf. It's a medicinal thing. It's used to help blood pressure. It's used to regulate pain, right? But when you turn coca leaves into a synthetic, it becomes another thing, right? Which we can't mention on TikTok. That's when it's synthetically made, right? Using ether or gas, right? Instead of stomping it out like it was back in the day. Then we've got the 4th, right? The synthetic version of it is a narcotic. The original form is poppy milk, right? Poppy milk was used in a bunch of medicinal ways before it was ever used as a addictive substance. Those are natural forms of it. Then when you get into the non-natural forms, like opioids, synthetically manufactured, made, and highly addictive, to replace the original. And the originals were replaced because they went against the doctrine that was put in front of the medicinal versions that came from nature, which was started by the Rockefellers, which all of those are based off of petroleum products, because ether is a petroleum product, right? Right. So, come on. Show me the difference between the synthetic where it's helped somebody and show me where the natural source hurt somebody.
Opioids are definitely good. I think opioids have benefited the society greatly. I mean, if you look at the people who are in dire...
Hope y'all saying TikTok words. I don't know
Oh, that's
what-
right. Well, he was saying that, so I thought it was okay.
I don't know. Whoever, I wasn't paying attention.
Let's just call it Opie. I guess. I don't know. We got to make these silly names. These silly words.
People who take opie, it's not just when it's administered to people. It's not just administered to anybody. Oh, you have like foot pain, you're taking it. Like they're giving it to people who are out of surgery. They're giving it to people who are, coming into the ER with, they just got their leg angled by like a tractor or something. We need those substances for situations like that.
But
Of
they're
course,
natural.
we need them. We need them. I agree with you, but they need to be controlled because here's the thing. Unfortunately, they want us addicted to these things. They want this crisis. They want us, like, remember that movie, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead? Or Unalived, excuse me. That's how they want us. They have said it for years and years and years. A healthy patient is not profitable.
Right, you can't make no money. I said that for years. You can't make
Yeah.
money off of that. You
Now,
make money
I
off
want
feelings.
to add something
That's
into
how
that.
hospitals running and all that stuff. That's what they make them.
Now,
It
here's
sounds like you're talking about like deleting this off the planet. We need it.
well, hold on.
No, I'm not. No, go ahead, Imperial.
Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Is nicotine an addictive substance?
Yeah, it's one of the most addictive substances.
Okay, hold on. But I'm asking you this for a reason. Did you know that 85% of the plants that you ingest have nicotine in them naturally?
Continue. I'm listening.
Okay. So let's start with corn. Corn has natural nicotine in it. Tobacco has natural nicotine in it. Tomatoes have nicotine in it. I can name off literally a dozen or so different plants that people eat
Yeah,
on a
but
daily
you're also
basis.
not getting rat poison with your nicotine.
Well,
When
no,
substances.
I'm saying that's one of the most highly addictive substances on the planet, right? When you extract it and alter it and put it back onto a substance, it becomes more addictive.
But I
So-
don't think it's simply being addicted to nicotine itself. is going to harm you to the lengths of which you're addicted to something that has nicotine. It's drawing you to nicotine is simply just the vessel, and then there's other substances in there that you're addicted to. Like if you like, let's say that it's like giving a horse a candy apple and having medicine underneath of it. He's licking it because he likes it, but then there's medicine in it. He doesn't know it. That's how you give horses medicine. That's how you give
But
dogs medicine.
nicotine by itself, even without tobacco, is addictive.
Well, I mean, I would argue that people for hundreds of years have been using that, and we don't have enough life in us. We don't live up to 200 years. We only live back then, especially only up to like the age of 50 or 60 in the colonial days. And people are using it and they live just fine.
Now, I'm
There's not
going
a
to say
risk.
it like this. There are a lot of people on this planet that are herbalists, botanists, those two categories, one and the same, that are way older than that. Because there's a woman right now who is in Jamaica, and she's roughly about around 130, 140 years old. And she's still moving and grooving like she's in her fucking 50s and 60s.
Well, I think anything that you have to burn to consume it is bad. You can consume, tobacco products and
Well, you gotta burn meat in order to cook it.
yeah, but I'm saying like you don't have to. The tobacco plant doesn't have to be burned and inhaled. You could use it in other ways.
Talking about the smoke.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
Hey, is any smoke healthy? I don't think anything. Any
No.
smoke is healthy.
No, it's not because you have to. The way the delivery of it is bad. You're inhaling carbon dioxide. Anything that burns turns to carbon. It's not good.
well, our bodies are made of carbon.
Yeah, but you're inhaling carbon dioxide. It's smoke. It's char.
I do agree. All smoking is harmful. Period. I mean, no kind of smoking is healthy. Whether it's tobacco, cannabis, or whatever, it's all unhealthy. It's all carcinogenic. So it's a cancer risk. There's obviously increased lung damage risk. I mean, the risks are great with smoking. Edibles or tinctures are much better.
Now, I want to add into that because bitters, what most people don't know about bitters are, that's a traditional herbal remedy, but it has a form of alcohol in it, made from the bioextract of plants, right? But you would say that consuming alcohol is bad for you, right?
No, I think consuming small amounts of alcohol can be good.
Depending on what?
Depending on nothing. If you consume small amounts of alcohol, it's fine. Our liver is made to break that down. Actually, I would argue that it cleanses you. It cleans you out.
That's debatable because I think that there's more research that's coming out that's showing that even small amounts of alcohol are not good for you. But then you still have, research that's saying, no, actually there's, there may be benefits to like red wine or whatever. So I don't know. I think that one is a very, very hot topic that is heavily debated.
I think
What's
it
that?
does have benefits. I mean, it has
Hold on, Kev's saying something.
It has antioxidants.
Now, Kev, what did you say?
That's crazy. I about to say
Which stops you from aging more, antioxidants.
You can eat grapes.
The grapes have the resveratrol and there's antioxidants in the wine, but the alcohol content kind of it kind of like diminishes that. It's like, the alcohol content in your glass of wine overpowers. There's a word that's stuck on the middle of my tongue, and excuse me, on the tip of my tongue, and I can't think of it. But overpowers the benefit of that resveratrol that you're getting. So you might as well, like you said, eat the grapes. I don't drink wine because it gives me the worst headache ever, ever.
Now, you know that when you drink wine, you're supposed to mix water with it?
I think everyone drinks a cup of water with all their drinks, though. That's how they even serve it in the
Well,
restaurant.
no, it's not a cup of water. You're literally supposed to take and pour water into your wine.
My uncles, when they drink, they're what they mix all of it doesn't matter what they're drinking. They mix everything with water. If they're drinking Hennessy, they're drinking Tito's, they're whatever wine, whatever it is that they're drinking, it is going to be mixed with water. And those men, they're much older, 60s and 70s, and they are never hungover. Meanwhile, everybody else is
Correct.
fighting for their lives.
Right. That's like the
Well, the
reason why
women
I give
also
the
can't
example.
digest. Women can't digest alcohol like men can. That's why, like, you give a young teen girl like alcohol and she's out, like any little bit. And you give it to a man, he can take it.
Body weight. It's
Now,
goddamn.
hold on. Do you want to know why that is a thing? You brought it up, so I would expect you to know why that is a thing.
I know that. I know why it is a thing, why it is that way. But I'm just saying that that's what it is.
All right, so explain for the malnourished in their brain why it's a thing.
Well, they're smaller bodies, and then women, they don't digest the same like we do. We digest faster.
Okay, but you're missing a key ingredient.
What?
Who carries more water in their body?
That doesn't. I don't know what that has
No,
to do with.
no, it has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, women are. God damn it! I lost my game. Sorry, I'm playing a game too.
What you playing?
SAS4 Zombie Assault.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. That's something you actually got to kind of. If you take your eye off it, you're gonna get slammed.
I was saying, yeah, women have more water in their body. They're water creatures, but I just don't.
Okay.
think that has to do like as the determining factor for them.
Well, because they process it different, the water in their body is more alkaline. Ours is, to be honest, is more acidic. So when we introduce alkaline, because certain alcohols are alkaline based, it fixes that. It overproduces alkaline in their body, which causes a negative effect.
Men tend to digest and metabolize alcohol a little bit more efficiently than some women. Some women have just as much tolerance as men, largely because men have more muscle and less body fat than women, and alcohol is water soluble.
Right, but there's
Muscle
also
contains
it's
more
also an
water than
alkaline
fat.
issue. Right, but it's also an alkaline issue as well. Because as men, yes, we have more muscle. So we have more lactic acid built up in our muscles. You feel me? That's why I'm giving the context the way that I'm giving it.
There's
most
also
people-
the fact that women, the hormonal differences, estrogen can slow down how women metabolize alcohol. And men typically have larger livers than women, which can help process alcohol faster.
Correct.
And it gives them a higher tolerance or whatever. I don't know. I really don't drink much. I don't like it. I'm 41 years old. I'm done with it. I've been hungover enough in my 20s than I need to be now. So
Now, you know what's scary about this is everybody has hit the floor because of MD 2020. There's nobody has survived that roller coaster.
what was that?
Mad Dog 2020. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. It's an alcohol that is flavored and it'll put you on your face. It'll have you waking up in places you didn't know you were. You can go to any corner store and look in any gas station and you can find it. It says MD 2020 on it. It comes in 5 to 6 different colors. You got blue, you got orange, you got purple, you got red. You know,
Listen, I got 6 kids. I don't need nothing putting me on my face. I am
well,
good.
well, because you're the end of Gen X, like I'm the end of Gen X, you should know what that stuff is. But yeah, no, it's just like there's a reason why when dude dropped, I was like, yeah, he's his personal bias is showing. What up, Alter?
Hey.
You know she working.
Oh, I know she is.
That's my twin. We heard
But
it.
yeah,
So when she came up, you heard dishes slapping.
facts.
Hardest working woman I know. I just did 11 hours my dang on so today. But, come
Now,
on,
what I will say, Kev, due to the personal bias of some people, anything can be used as classified as an addiction.
Yeah.
So I don't go with personal bias at all, because personal bias just means that you can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Here I go with the chaos.
You can't handle it.
That's what she said.
I'm done.
I mean, sometimes it's true, sometimes it's not. That's what she said.
He said it too.
He said he wish he would have thrown him in there. Nobody talking about he. Nobody care about a he. It's like I don't want to throw up.
Welcome in, PQ. Welcome in, La.
Leah fit in the building. I remember you walking back.
Hey, what's poppin'?
Nothing. Same old. We about to get to the bottom of this right here, man. See, me and my boo was, we know she trapped right now in her life. We came up, we had a little thing in the morning. We had this little debate, but we ended up squashing it though. I mean, we ended up getting to the, and I realized I was talking more about the, she was talking about the addiction part. I was talking about the hobby part, and you know what she ended up mentioning that where I got me triggered. She had mentioned about video games, and I just I blocked out everything when she said like, man, what are you talking about? How's that a hobby? I'm like, how you gonna compare that? Compare that to makeup and all this other stuff, but I had got her. I understood later.
So beautiful, by the way. I did not know she was a natural girly.
Oh yeah. Oh, you see? Oh, you caught her.
Beautiful.
You caught her in the live.
Yeah.
Now, I want to add into that. So, ladies, all of you on the panel, do you play? We'll start with you, Alter. Do you play video games?
Do I play video games?
Yeah.
Hey, do she got time?
I know, right?
What the heck?
I'm done. I really got time to watch TV sometimes.
Right, that's why I'm like, what the heck?
Like,
That shocked me. I was like, you
I
lied.
don't really like video game. I play my own game.
So you play Sims in real life?
Yeah, I play Sims in real life.
There you go.
Exactly.
Okay. So
It looked fun though.
I said that little one. That's the least I can say. I feel you on that.
Leah, do you play video games?
No. I have a very busy schedule.
Okay.
I would never have time. I mean, I'm not really into video games anyway, but
Her name is Fit. You know what she do.
yeah, exactly.
That
working out, getting to this money, eating right. I got a lot of things. I'm like a self-development girly. If it ain't got nothing to do with my self-development, I'm not really into it.
All right. PQ, do you play video games?
Nope. They don't say it like that, man.
I will say though.
They don't say it like that, man.
I will say though. Bro, I will say to whatever point you're trying to come to though. What's that game? It's called dang, what's it? It's an old
Tetris.
school one.
Tetris.
Mortal Kombat. I do love playing that. You gotta be
Oh,
losing all the
quit it.
time.
Don't even say that around my presence.
this is
This
Game
is
I
Nah,
play. I
this is
play
how
that
I look
game
at it, right?
heavy.
So let me
I
rephrase it. Do I play video games? No, but I do. Like when Grand Theft Auto 6 come out, I'm
Uh-oh.
spending the whole. I'm like I told my wife,
nah
I'm gonna be gone for a week.
now
So
You're
PQ
not allowed to do that, man.
now PQ now you know like I know we go back like 4 flats on the Cadillac on this app.
Mhm.
You know that when GTA 6 hits, almost everybody that's up here that actually plays video games, they gonna disappear.
yeah. Oh no. Even then, I probably might just go live and start playing it live.
Right. So you can include everybody in the coping mechanism.
Yeah, I might have to get that. I'm for sure getting that too, though. I ain't. Cause I like the
Now,
fire though, but I just. Yeah.
the reason why I bring this up is because I play video games. At one point in my life, I used to make money off of video games. So some people would say, "Oh, I was addicted," but if I'm making hand over fist, making a bunch of money off of it, is it a business or is it a hobby? Or is it an addiction? Or is it a coping mechanism for me to deal with the stress in my real life?
Mm. So let me do this real quick though. Yeah, because I believe overall, I ain't gonna. Well, I ain't gonna get an answer yet though, because I'm gonna say it. But let me get actually, I want to get them three in because they ain't really say the difference. But actually, let's do this. Instead of answering it that way, I'm gonna try to ask. Okay, let's get fit right because she got fit. So she like you probably like doing exercising and all that, right? Or working out, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so let's use because this we about to make it sting today. That's the whole point of this whole topic though, because I need people to know the difference of all of them. So fit when you say if you working out. Oh, well, let me just say what is the gym? When is gym an addiction, a coping mechanism, and a hobby?
So I would say going to the gym for me is a hobby if I don't have nothing to do and I'm pretty much have like free time. I'll go to the gym. I will consider that a hobby. If it's in that context.
Okay.
It becomes an addiction once I set a goal. So like if I say, I want to lose, I want to gain this certain amount of weight, then it's going to become an addiction because now I have to be consistent and I'm gonna have to set aside days and times for me to go to the gym. So, every day I wake up, I'm gonna be like gym, 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 gym. So it's gonna be, I guess you could say, it's an addiction in that context. But then there's some days where I'm just having a bad day, and I'm like, I want to work out because I don't want to think about what the fuck I'm going on, what I'm going through right now. So then, in that context, it can be a coping mechanism because I'll have times where I'm stressed with other things or just with life. And I'm like, let me do a quick workout and it will make me feel better, like in that moment. So I'll say, like, in that context, I would say it's a coping mechanism. I mean, for me, I feel like it could be all three. It just depends on the context.
Mm.
So it means your serotonin
All right.
levels are trash.
So let's get all right. Oh, so let's mess with her then.
Busiest woman in show business.
Trying to think of I'm about to say when is Bible study an addiction? I can't even think of one.
Every day. I
I
got an alarm every morning for that Bible study. You hear me?
I'm trying to think. No, I don't know if that can be a hobby. Let me see. I'm gonna think of something. I gotta think of something for. What do she do for fun? All she do is work.
Now, Kev,
You trying to ask me a hobby?
Yeah. What do you do?
Um,
I gotta use it something.
what do I do? I school. I'm trying to see what hobby I do. Oh, be with my kids. Oh no,
I
I'm
knew her for
trapped.
too long. That's why I said it's hard on my end. I can't even think of what the.
I'm trapped, y'all. I don't know. Just
Do you
trapped.
do
Dang, do I? She like,
do you
do I
do
got a hobby?
anything During your free time? Like, what do you do during your free time?
Is that
Hey, B.
is that
So
Rachel?
hey,
No, that
actually,
I don't know. That was me, Leah.
You, I swear that sound like Rachel. That's crazy. In my free time, let me see. In my free time, I may watch a movie. I may, I don't know. What do I be doing in my free time? What is that? Yeah, I don't know what no free time is.
Yeah, man.
No, because in my free, I don't know. I may take a nap. I may
I was about to say
go
that a
work
nap
out.
could be a hobby.
Can you be a work? Can you be
I work
addicted to
out.
work?
Huh?
Can you be addicted to working?
You can be addicted to mothering. How about that? Hey, you guys hear that? I was like,
Ooh. I wonder, like serious, I want to see can stuff like that be addiction?
heck yeah.
You can
I
be
need to
addicted
get.
to working.
Let's
Yeah.
talk about it then. Let's talk about
You
it
can
then.
be addicted to like always mothering. How about that? We're gonna talk about that. That's gonna be a whole time by itself. Like that's really all I be doing. Seriously. That's all I be doing. So, but you're saying like as far as is a hobbies, when is that whatever you're doing become a hobby? Is it just a hobby or is it addiction and something, right? Yeah. Dang, I don't know. I think anything like a hobby is just something that you do. Like, I got like if it's a hobby, just kind of things I do like when you have leisure time. Like it's kind of one of my hobbies. Like if I can say a hobby, it's like maybe writing or reading. That's one of my hobbies. Writing or reading. That's something I like to do, right? Addiction, I think would be. I used to be addicted to playing Candy Crush. That was bad. I was like, if y'all don't take this phone from me, I'm not gonna stop playing it. I
That
don't
do
care.
be addictive. I ain't gonna
That
lie.
game, and I had the nerve to download that game again like not too long ago. I still haven't played it yet. But that game was so bad. But I think that was the closest. I think something like that. It's like playing something that you just can't stop playing. Shoot, TikTok is addicting. I ain't gonna lie. That's probably my addiction. Okay, so TikTok is my addiction. Writing and reading is my hobby. Addiction. Okay.
Yeah, clean that up. I was about to go tell on
Yo,
you.
he's so aggravated. He's like,
Will, what?
Hold on, hot on the press. Hold on, hot on the press. No,
It's time to go back to Bible study again.
yo, I cannot. Coping mechanism to be sipping some wine,
Okay, true.
or coping mechanism can be talking to a friend, cuddling up with your boo. I don't know, that's coping mechanism. Because there's healthy coping mechanism. You should always have a way to cope with something. Right?
It's true.
There's healthy ways, and then there's ways it's like, man, I'm finna go out here and just wild out. I'm finna go to what's that thing called? What is that? Where you go spend all your money?
Casino?
Yes, casino.
Oh.
You just go out there.
That's a shopping spree.
I mean, that's another way because people have a shopping addiction. That's for one.
Oh.
People have a shopping addiction. They think like, I'm just getting the next outfit. No, you're literally addicted. You have too many clothes. You ain't got no room to fit in. Stop playing. That can be an addiction for sure. And the way people cope. People cope by shopping for sure.
Yeah, I cope by shopping.
We found something.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm in a bad mood, not every time, but there be some times where I'm in a bad mood, and I'm like, yeah, let me go buy something to make me feel good. It could be something so small, even like going to get food or something like, you know what I'm saying? I just like to spend, and I'm like, okay, I'm a little princess. But yeah, I feel that.
All right, let's get PQ in then.
Yo, what's up, man?
What's up? I'm trying to think of what's your hobby?
Oh, so my hobby is my business. I make purses.
Okay.
So,
Like,
but
like handmade?
Yeah, handmade. Yeah.
Oh, that's fire.
Yeah, mine don't come from China.
I'm sorry.
It's a hobby or it's a business or
No,
career?
so it start. Well, by according to the IRS, it's no longer a hobby.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
No, I make over $30,000 a year, so it's not considered a hobby anymore.
You make over $600, it's no longer.
They have to take taxes for it.
Okay.
Yeah, but it can still fall under hobby also, even if you're just making $600 a year. So, but yeah, but no, but how I look at it though is like when I look at addiction, right? Because like even going to the gym or even going to Bible study can be considered addiction. But it has to. This is how I look at it. It has to put detriment.
Can it be a coping mechanism?
No, it has to be put detriment to your life. Meaning, what I mean by that is
That's
that
not true.
no. So when I look at addiction, this is what I said. This is me. When I look at addiction as, hey, I'm addicted to it and I need it no matter what. It's almost like to me, like almost like a base head. A base head's gonna always try to find to get his hit or get their hit, and they'll do whatever it takes. They may not eat until they get it. I know some guys that when we go to the gym, that's how they are. If they don't go to the gym, I have a homeboy. If he does not go to the gym, it is like a detriment to his life. Like if he does not go to the gym, and if he doesn't, like, matter of fact, I remember one time his wife called me and said, "Hey, do you know where is my husband with you?" And I was like, "No." And I was like, "Why are you?" I said, "You're calling me at 2:00 in the morning, too, at the same time." Come to find out, this man was at the gym at 2:00 in the morning because he had to get his fix.
Well, I feel like there's a thing. There's a difference between like a healthy addiction and like.
How about let's ask that first. Let's ask that overall. Is there such thing as a healthy addiction?
I don't think so. I don't think, because when
I believe so.
But
You
I don't
believe so?
believe so.
Yeah, I think there is healthy.
Anybody
addiction.
else?
I think that any kind of addiction can potentially be harmful. First of all, when you basically tell your brain that you have to compulsively engage in a certain behavior or substance, it's obviously addiction, right? It hijacks the brain's reward and memory system. So if you're looking at, like, if you're saying, okay, this is seemingly harmless, this is innocuous, I'm just going to the gym, it's better for, it's great for my body. But if you can't sleep because you haven't been to the gym, if you can't function because you haven't been to the gym, that's no longer harmless.
I think that it switches from becoming something that you love to do to an addiction as soon as, exactly like you said, as soon as it happens where it's affecting your life. Because addiction has never been used in a positive connotative way. It's always been a negative connotation because it means that you are quite literally unable to sustain life until you do this thing. And it doesn't have to be, like you said, the gym or anything. It could be something as small as food. It could be spending money. It's a detriment to your life.
So let's get to the juicy one. Let's get to the juice. Oh no, you can finish up. I got you. I thought you were finished.
So I feel like with addiction, you can never say that it's something that can become positive because it's literally just a negative connotative word. It is meant to show the negative of life whenever you are obsessed with something.
It's showing you don't have control over it. You don't have control. You are lacking that impulsivity control.
Right.
So,
and that's what Lafitte said, right? When she said that she becomes addicted because she has a goal and she wants to hit it. That's typically not addiction, because at the end of the day, because you have a goal in mind, and at the end of the day, there's a stopping point for you.
Right.
For most people that have an addiction,
I was gonna say that
that
was where my misunderstanding was coming from, because I was thinking more so like that, like, you know what I'm saying, if you're addicted to something but you have a goal to accomplish that goal, then it maybe won't be bad. But like if you're just addicted and it's just like a constant thing you're doing and there's no stopping it, then yeah, I don't think that's something that could be possible.
I think what you're describing is more discipline than addiction.
Like I could say that when I first started sewing, right, I was addicted to sewing, where I would literally wake up at 2:00 in the morning, 3:00 in the morning, and go downstairs and start sewing because, hey, or I was upset because I didn't get to finish a stitch because, hey, my wife said, hey, come upstairs, it's time to eat. And then we started doing other things, and I would be like, oh my gosh, I need to go. And that was an addiction. And that's when it was like, hold on, I got to chill out and calm down, because Like I'm literally at work or out at functions, like literally like scratching my head, like damn man, I need to get home so I can freaking do this, so I can finish this purse, man. Like damn, like I was literally doing that. Then I realized like, yo, you a base head for sewing, so you need to chill.
Well, the
Can't
other thing
relate.
is
I
you
ain't never
mentioned
been
you
rushing
mentioned
home to sew.
you hold on wait you mentioned the goals part. The other thing that we have to acknowledge is that goals can also be toxic, because for me specifically, I'll give you an example. I love astrology. I like comparing it to different things that happen in different religions and why people use astrology. And during the pandemic, I got addicted to astrology and comparing it to religions, which just sounds very niche, but I did. I made it a goal to specifically learn as much as I possibly could. And as a result of that, I wasn't sleeping enough. I wasn't doing what I needed to do because it was a toxic goal. And suddenly I was losing my grip on reality of what is true and what's not true. Because obviously astrology is not a real thing. It's just something that different religions have, right? So while the intention of the goal was to learn more about different religions, the actual action that ended up happening became something toxic. Same thing with that guy that was talking about the purse. His intention was to talk about how he wanted to build these purses. It was just supposed to be a hobby, but suddenly it became something bigger than that. Goals, while they are meant to be positive, can also become negative in the same regard.
I ain't never heard nothing like that before.
Yeah, me either. I don't think that what you're saying is the goal is the issue. I think you're just basically saying how the person strives to achieve that goal. Like if you're obviously have a goal for something and you're not giving yourself no time to sleep, eat, and take care of yourself, then yeah, that's an issue. But it doesn't sound like the goal itself is what the issue is.
I could say yes in some regard, but I think when you're changing your goal to try to make yourself feel like it's healthy what you're doing, then yes, then it can become the goal can become a toxic situation. That's where I'm mostly coming from, because I reckon. Oh, I'm sorry.
I was gonna ask a question. I think did somebody say that there's no such thing as a healthy addiction, right?
Right. I was the one who said I thought there was.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question would be, let's say a man is going to court, like visitations with his child or whatever, and he's having a hard time seeing his child, and he's going through like pretty much a midlife crisis where he feel like his whole life has to stop in order for him to see his child. Would you consider that an addiction because you can't function without your child, or you feel like what would you call that?
No.
No.
I'm going off the logic that you guys are using. I'm just asking if you can't function
Addiction is
without
something
something.
that
What
means
is it?
addiction. That means you. That's the difference. One of them is you missing something. The other one is you keep. Well, one of them you haven't not seen it, and then you trying to go see it. The other one is you always seen it, and then if you miss it for a couple minutes, you got to go see it again, type situation. So it got to. It's not no time period between that.
But somebody said something about that, but somebody compared that to the gym also, though.
Yeah, gym could be an addiction. That's what I was about to ask. Can I think this is a deep one. Then I want to can somebody mentioned it. They might be saying it as a joke, but can Bible study be the addiction? I want to know that.
Absolutely.
How
Any religion can become an addiction no matter what, because there are people that will forget what reality is. So Bible study can become an addiction. The Bible, religion, anything can become an addiction whenever you are letting it impact your day-to-day life and you forget what reality is and don't have impulse control because you're trying to follow.
But if what you're addicted to is not bringing any negative issue towards you, then why is that an issue?
So it's not
like for an example, like sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but let me just add this. For example, like you said, Bible study. If you constantly reading your Bible and you know what I'm saying, always getting just focus on getting that knowledge, getting closer to whatever religion you're in, and you don't feel no negative from that, then why would that be like an issue?
There's a lot of people that don't feel no negative on their addiction.
I don't think it's so much an issue. Where I think the issue may be is if anything that is considered an addiction is something that is impeding your day to day. So if you're saying I can't, I need
Watch your
my Bible. Like
kids.
I can't do anything. You know, everything I do, it has to, you know, it has to be from the Bible. It has to only be from the Bible. I have to wake up and read my Bible. I have to go to work and listen to, you know, listen to maybe an audiobook of the Bible. I have to, you know, on my lunch break. No, I'm not. I'm not going to hang out with friends and go to dinner because I need to be studying my Bible. That is where the Bible is not the issue. The
Here's my
Bible is not the issue.
oh,
The Bible is what you're doing. What is the issue is that it is consuming everything, every part of your life to where you're not seeing anything beyond that Bible.
here's my
So
question.
is that
When
when it's
does it
considered an addiction? Is when it's like you're saying basically like once it consumes you and you can't see nothing
You
else,
can't
that's when
function
you
without
can
it,
say it's an
100%.
addiction?
can I ask a quick question? When
Mm-hmm.
do we include the detriment of other people into the addiction? So we mentioned the children
Yeah,
aspect of
true.
this, right?
Right.
So we're talking a lot about the detriment day to day of your life. Well, a lot of times with addiction, it affects the closest people around you. So
Mhm.
how do we input them into this equation?
Just like you said, if we want to use the analogy of the Bible, it's the same thing. If you're someone, let's say, you know, okay, I love my Bible, or you love your Bible, whatever, that's fine. That is your prerogative. Now, if you have someone who may not be Christian and everything that you're doing is related to the Bible, that other person may say, well, hey, wait a minute, you're imposing, or you're making me feel uncomfortable. You know, we may have to sever our friendship because everything you want to do is all about this Bible and is surrounded by the Bible. The other thing is, if you're saying, I don't want to go anywhere because I just want to be home studying, I want to study my Bible, I want to know this thing inside out and every piece of it, you know, you're not building those connections with people. You're not maintaining those healthy relationships with people. So yes, it's going to affect your family, maybe your children, your husband, you know, maybe the only people who might align with you are others who are just as addicted. But like Suni
So
said,
I so I have a
addiction
question.
is a lack of discipline. You can't say, okay, I've had enough of this for now. I'm going to come back to it later. You're saying, no, I need this all the time.
Right. Like, for example, even with the Bible says you're not supposed to wear mixed fabrics, you're not supposed to eat certain foods, you're not supposed to do certain things. And obviously, in this modern day, some of these things we have to do on a day to day. But if you are making it a point where you're not going to at the detriment of your lifestyle or others. Oh, actually, no, segue, good question. So, some people believe due to their religion that they should not get blood transfusions. And as a result, we see certain people who do unfortunately unalive. Do you think that this is a form of addiction to religion?
That has not. Well, I hate to go that far, but there's nowhere in no Bible that it says that. So that's just some blind, stupid stuff
No,
you ask me.
not in the regular Christian Bible, but Jehovah Witnesses and certain
Sonny
Mormons
want to talk
do
about the
believe
Lord.
that.
Okay, let's go. Cause pulling this
Right.
up.
I'm
Oh, I
not
knew
saying
something
no,
was
I am
wrong.
not saying that in that regard.
Said
I'm
it enough
asking
times
in this
Lala in here
regard.
too. It's over.
That is
I'm like,
something
God
that is
dang.
believed in certain religions. I'm not saying specifically the Bible. I am saying in religions, some religions, they believe you are not allowed to have a blood transfusion.
Yes, the
And
Muslim
as a
religion, yes.
right. So, do you believe that that can cause an addiction to a religion if it is causing the unalivement of someone because they're following their religion? Or is that still just
I don't think it's
them
a
just
that
So
following
have.
their
I
religion?
wouldn't say that's
following your
addiction. I would say more
religion.
so devoted or something. I wouldn't say
I'm about to say that's just
Yeah,
got
that's
to
devoted.
I'm
yeah,
about to
that's
say if
something.
that's
Yeah.
like me following my
Yeah, no,
religion
I
is
genuinely
addiction, then what the
I was
hell?
just asking the question just to ask
Yeah,
the
yeah,
question.
I would say
I don't
devoted, not addiction.
I truly believe that it's just you're being devoted, but I was just curious to see what people would say to that because that is a question that does come up a lot whenever people are talking about certain religions and their practices.
Yeah,
So,
so let
so I
me
guess I'm just trying to
say
figure
this.
out. Sorry, Kev, go ahead. If you guys.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm trying to think of so the reason I think when it becomes an addiction is like when it's like I think I seen Sean say can it be why can't be disciplined and all that, right? So I feel that though. I think that's the whole point. Some people who reading it because they want to be disciplined, but some people just read it just to read it, or whatever it is that they're. Oh, I guess because it's talking about Bible study though. But some people they just they just I don't know. It's like I don't know what's the part that make it addiction. I don't even know if they even call it an addiction from that point. You know, I don't know. That's why I was trying to see if can that even because I know that's why I asked the question to see
Can I answer that one?
what I was hearing. Go ahead.
Well, you talking about the Bible, right? That's no, according to the book and the text itself, it cannot be an addiction because it's a study day and night. So
Yes.
to me, that's not an addiction. It can't be an addiction based upon the biblical text itself. A worldly definition of addiction, yes, but a biblical text, there's no way it can be because it tells you to do it day and night.
But okay, now you just reminded me. I think it becomes an addiction when people reading it without trying to live it. They just reading it to read it, right? Because some people just it's them fake. It's like I don't want to call it fake, but it's just people that just think they're following. They think they're following what God wants for them, but they just read it just so they can get the brownie points. Oh, I've read and all this other stuff, whatever, right? That's when it becomes an addiction because when you're just no, I can't even call it that. I just thought about it. I'm keep thinking. But I was gonna say like when you're just doing it, you're doing it so much because you think it's something, or I don't know what could be the reason. Hey, what could be the reason?
that
So
behavior-
you're doing it so much that you missed out on your kids and your family and all that other stuff. I think that's where but I wouldn't call the Bible itself to make that addiction. And I don't know about that. I just think that when you're using all that time, you know, and not paying attention to real life, that do becomes an issue. You know what I'm saying?
But I think,
Right,
like I
that's
said
not-
before, it's not about reading the Bible regularly or being devout. I think it's the behavior. When the behavior, no matter, let's replace the Bible with intimacy. Let's replace the Bible with, use of Mary Jane. Let's replace the Bible with shopping or food or anything like that. Those are behaviors. You know, when that behavior becomes compulsive and causes anxiety and stress, if you don't do it, that's what an addiction looks like. So whatever it is that you're doing, it could be that reading the Bible is your addiction. But if you are stressed out because you haven't read the Bible in, let's say, 24 hours, that's an issue. The Bible is not an issue. That behavior is the issue.
Okay.
So I'm trying to understand, like, I guess how far it has to go to then be called an addiction. Because, like, for an example, for me, right? Like, I watch Friends, and that's probably the only show that I watch. And I would tell somebody, like, I'm addicted to watching Friends. But I don't feel like Friends at any point is, like, causing any detriment in my life. Like, I'm still getting everything I need to get done. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, at what point when you say something is an addiction that it's like, I mean, I guess what point, how far do you have to go to then say it's an addiction? Because, like, if in my example, if I were to say I'm addicted to watching Friends, but obviously, like, I can.
But you're not. You just using the wrong term. That's all it is.
So then that's what I was trying to figure out. Is like maybe I'm just using it the wrong way.
Yeah, you just using the wrong word.
I think we're just conditioned to using a lot of these words interchangeably, and I think that we're conditioned to using really words just improperly. You're not really addicted. You just like the show. If you're saying I can't go to work today because I need to watch Friends, that might be a problem because, hey, you need to go to work so you can do whatever you need to do. But if you can't carry out your day-to-day because you got to stay home and watch this show, I think there may be a problem. If I can't get out of bed because all I want to do is sleep, I'm addicted to sleeping, I might be depressed, but I also might have some other issues that I need to resolve. So what we're looking at with addictions really is just that behavior. How is it impacting your life? If it's overtaking every single thing, if you're becoming obsessive compulsive about this, where you can't function, like some people, you know how some people have OCD, like they have to shut their doors like 3 times before they can move on, or they have to like tap things. I have some things that I do that are really
I'm OCD when it comes to
I'm not completely, but there are some things that I like when I leave my car. I have to hear my alarm go off a couple times. That makes me feel better.
Oh my god!
I don't think I found out last week. I found out last week it ain't called OCD. I think it's OCP. I gotta look it up. Because the other one,
I think
OCD, that's not, y'all wouldn't be able to right now, probably even barely be on this panel right now if y'all had the real OCD. But
Right, it's
I was
true.
diagnosed with OCD
yeah,
in college,
somebody
and
told
I
me
was
the
on
real word.
medication for it.
Somebody gave me the real word. It's called
I'm talking
OCD.
about like obsessive
I
disorder or something like that.
No,
I
Yes,
don't.
obsessive
no, I think
compulsive.
it.
Wait,
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
the P
obsessive
obsessive
word.
compulsive
compulsive
disorder.
disorder.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Obsessive compulsive disorder is when you have to turn on your lights 3-4 times. Like you have to do things in series. You have to count. You have to do things, or else like the tick does not go off. So when people say that they're
oh,
like
it's called
OCD about,
OCPD. That's what it's called.
if
That's
people are
the
like
one.
OCD about cleaning, that's not OCD. You're just
That's
particular.
yeah.
Like I used to not be able to walk out of a room unless I touched the door handle 4 times and checked the lights and looked under the bed 4 times. So
Well, I have
it's
to
all
wipe my
bad.
And part of
counters
it,
like
part of it
1,000
is
times.
part of it
But
is
that's still just
also
being
for
particular.
people who have autism, because that's something that I had to learn. I have autism, and one of the things that does happen for women with autism is you have a lot of OCD type. Dang, what word do I want to use here?
Tendencies.
Yeah. So like for me specifically, certain noises I have to hear repeatedly. Like you said, I click my fingers together and I need to rock if I feel too anxious or if I feel like something's wrong. So a lot of people with autism also kind of end up, we call it a hyperfixation, but sometimes it turns into an addiction to stuff because it's something that captivates you and you have to do it, because if you don't, it feels like your skin is crawling because it just feels weird. And it's part of the autism.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I was diagnosed with OCD, and then I don't know. I don't want to say it didn't go away, but it's weird. Like I kind of just stopped caring. Like I just kind of changed my focuses a little bit, and then I didn't have obsessions over things like that. And for some people, it is severe, and you can never just get over it. But no, I was on anti-OCD meds for a while, and then I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore. And I stopped.
But I think also when you know, when something is identified, you're more mindful of it. So when someone says to you like, hey, like I said, my husband always says like, why you always got to hit the car alarm so many times? I'm like, it's just what I do. And so now I'm a little bit more mindful. I still do it because I just have to, but I laugh now because I'm like, oh yeah, he is right. I do that shit every single time I walk out of my car.
I used to not be able to let my feet touch. My feet could not touch each other for like 2 years straight. No, it's not even funny. It used to be so bad. Like I couldn't sit in a chair my feet could touch. I had to wear multiple pairs of socks to go to sleep because I didn't like the feeling of like my feet touching each other in my bed. It was this whole thing. That's why I got diagnosed with OCD, because it literally, that is an obsession. Like I did every single thing in my power to prevent my literal feet from touching each other when I went to bed, to the point where it was like consuming. And that is what addiction and like obsessive compulsive disorder is when you go out of your way to try to turn around a function that you have, or something that you're already doing, or something that has to be done. When you go out of your way to like make that thing something else, it becomes it's very exhausting. But yeah,
That makes sense.
That's probably why I heard you clicking that pen that one day. I heard you.
no, I do have ADHD. I just don't take my medication, and I don't care anymore. At this point, I just try to solve my own problems. I don't like being dependent on medication, because medication,
There you go.
people think it's a fix all, but it's really not. You can get addicted to medication
It
and
just
think that
aids
that's
the
gonna solve your problem.
symptoms. Yeah,
It does.
it's not for a
Yeah.
cure. It's just to aid the symptoms. That's
When I
all.
was on ADHD medication, it made my anxiety worse, and I would bite my nails more. And now I'm having more issues because now I'm picking on my hands more. So I kind of just had to learn what my strengths are, what my weaknesses are, and kind of compile it. And sometimes I do need my medication. When I'm trying to spring clean, you won't get me to spring clean if I have not taken my medication. But like,
Look into
if it's
peptides,
day-to-day,
ladies.
no.
I'm heavy into peptides. Look into peptides. It's a much better alternative than medication. I mean,
Kev,
you ladies sound pretty young, so I don't know. You know, I'm a little bit older, but look into peptides. There are some that will definitely help with your cognition and focus and all of that stuff there that are fantastic, and they're way better than medication and not addictive.
that's interesting. Kev, I have to tell you something.
What?
I am single.
Get the
I'm dead ass.
get
You ain't
the.
learned from Kevin Panel. That's my friend.
All
It
right. Quinn
happened.
came in right at the time.
Oh my
What?
god.
What?
I wanted Rachel being here when I told
I'm
you.
telling,
'Cause I've
boy.
been thinking. No, can I tell you what happened? I've been thinking.
Let me just say that for a few times
We
real quick.
already know what happened.
What happened?
That's crazy word.
You don't know how to let go. You talk too much. You freaking judge them too much. And I was like,
No, definitely not that.
Nah, Yana.
Yeah, I'm single as of Saturday. It's over.
Man, whatever. Y'all probably had a little weak
I was
argument.
just gonna say,
You know how they
that-
be. See, Mom, we already know that. Boy, look,
He cheated. We're not getting back
little
together.
churring over there having a little fit.
not churring.
He cheated. We're not getting back together. My mama know.
He
My grandma
cheated?
know. He cheated.
He cheated. Oh,
Straight
don't
That's why you
ever
can't tell
take him
everybody
back.
because it might took him back.
I
Don't
don't think I
ever
can
take him back.
I
What do you
don't.
do?
I really don't want
Okay,
to.
so now he did something. What do you do?
She said
He
he
cheated.
cheated.
I mean, yeah. I don't.
He did?
Dang, how you cheat? He
How
called
you know?
How did I know? Because I had a dream. God told me about a month ago, don't go through any of his stuff. But I had a dream that he kissed a girl in the back of his car, right? And this kept playing in my head for a month, and I kept cracking jokes about it to him. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so mad about that girl that you kissed in my dream, right? Just like cracking jokes, and he never defended himself. So I was like, okay, interesting. So then flash forward to Saturday, we got into a fight because his sister said something to me, and I didn't like that because I do a lot at their house. Like, I don't know. I just was nice. I not took care of, but if I ordered food for the group, then I took care of everyone, considering everyone. I don't feel like that was done for me. So she was trying to clock me on something. I felt that was disrespectful. So I was like, no, I'm not. You're not about to talk to me like that. So him and I were arguing, and I was like, did you cheat on me? Out of nowhere. Just out of nowhere. And he was like, what? No, what do you mean? I was like, no. You're talking to somebody right now. And I can tell because your attitude has shifted in the last 2 weeks. What happened? And he's like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I said, how long have you been talking to her? He said, a month. So I know right now I'm good. I'm straight. I cried. I crashed out. I yelled. I screamed. I tore up some stuff. I threw it at him, whatever. I also apologized for how I talked to him. And no one will ever see me like that again. No one will ever get the best of me like that. I'm good. But
Oh man.
Ah, dang it.
Wait,
Yana, please don't just promise me this. Do not go to the divester side, please.
I'm not messing with them, but I didn't need to tell you that. But I mean, I love him, but and I respect him as much as I can right now. But
I know you remember what I talked to you about because I was asking why you was taking your man. Me and you had a 1v1. I just thought about that because I was like, why you taking your time to get married and all this other stuff? And I said, what are the reasons why you like him? There's so many things. It just didn't seem like the connection was there. Go ahead.
Well, let me say this. It was definitely there. I don't know what the switch was. I think that he got caught up in something, and he told me that I made him uncomfortable with some of the conversations that we had, which 3 weeks prior, I said, do these conversations bother you? Do you want me to stop talking about a family and kids and stuff like that? I will stop. I don't want that to be the thing that ends our relationship because I respect you. And he said, no, I love that you talk about our future. I love it. It motivates me. It's something that pushes me to be a better man. I want to marry you. So hearing you talk about what you want for our family is what is my motivation. Okay. So you're not going to get to bring that up when we then break up, or I'm breaking up with you and say that I made you uncomfortable with that when you're calling my stepdad your father-in-law. We're not going to do that. So I clocked him on that. I was like, no, I've always allowed you open space to tell me about how you felt about our relationship, and you chose to lie. So now that I know that you're literally just that, a liar, I'm not staying. I don't need to stay. I'm good. I'm not ugly. I'm good. I'm fine. And don't let your boyfriend stop you from finding your husband. So it's okay.
Yeah, he's definitely deflecting. And remember when Nikki said, don't ever go through your man's things if you don't have an exit plan? So good for you. Please do not get back with him. Know your worth, honey. Please do not get back with him.
Yeah,
that is the worst thing you could ever do is get back with a man.
God told me that this is what happens when you don't listen the first time. When you don't listen the first time, you get punished the second. And I knew that this is not a relationship that I'd be equally yoked in, but I was like, oh, he loves me and he's cute, so I'll be okay. No, that's not enough to be married to someone. That's not enough to have any type of long-standing anything with anyone. So it is now time for me to go stage left and be by myself for a little minute, and I will come back and have to get married in a couple of years. We're good. All is well.
In the Caribbean, we say, if you don't hear, you must feel. So that means if you don't listen the first time, you're going to feel it the second
I
time.
felt it. My friend had to come get me the other day. Like, he was at my front door, like, open the door. Because my friend saw how down bad I was over all this. But I will say I'm very proud of myself. I figured it out. I broke up with him. I didn't break. I got a therapist the next day. I had a therapist the same day. Dang, Alter,
What is happening?
He said, somebody gonna say something. I'm gonna slam him even harder. Saying, ain't nobody saying nothing to me, do some more.
I got a therapist.
You're throwing them dishes like Donkey Kong.
I thought that was Yana throwing the dishes.
Why
for a
y'all didn't
minute.
tell me I was doing? I forgot what it was.
I was about to say, Alter, feel you over there. Like,
I'm
man,
mad.
do
I'm
my
mad for
sister
y'all.
like
So I'm
that,
over
right?
explaining stuff. My bad.
It's okay, girl.
She crashing
I'm
out over
okay.
there for you.
I deleted all my pictures. I took everything off
You
my
know,
wall.
I got 3
All those
mods
little-
in one box.
all those little blank spaces, all those pictures were him. So he's gone. All the stuff he gave me is gone. The bracelets, the jewelry, all gone. So I'm not hanging on to anything. I'm very much doing my best to move forward. I'm 22 years old. I have no kids and no responsibilities. It's time to move
Oh,
on.
you good.
I'm straight.
Listen, at 20, anytime I stopped talking to someone or stopped dating someone, I would spend like at least 3 years by myself doing what I wanted, dating, just kind of casually or whatever. Really just doing me and kind of getting to know myself. And because you spend, when you spend time with someone, like I've been with my husband a very long time, and I feel like if God forbid we were to end things, well, one, I'm a little older, so I don't have like 5 years to spend by myself. But I would need some time to get back to being me and to get back to knowing the things I like and, what I enjoy, my own identity, as opposed to just my identity now as a wife. What is my newfound identity, I guess, as a single woman?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to be alone for a while, but I definitely also am leading differently into a relationship. I mean, I genuinely have no interest in being in anything with anyone right now. I don't want to be in anything right now. But I do know that when I do get back into the dating scene, my priorities have drastically changed. My expectations have drastically changed, good and bad. Like he was a good boyfriend when he was a good boyfriend, and that's fine. But I kind of had the realization that just because you're a good boyfriend does not mean you're going to be a good husband, and that's okay. It's just time to move on to the next. And I'm looking for a husband. So I know that in order to do that successfully, I need to be by myself for a little minute. And I'm okay.
That's a good point. I stopped talking to a guy, and I told him, I said, you're a great guy. You're just not the great guy for me.
Right.
You are not my great guy, but you're going to be somebody else's great guy. And, he just wasn't. I like a guy rough around the edges. I'm from Harlem. I'm a little, sophisticated.
I love it. I love that.
If you will. So I love that he would pull the chair off for me, open my door, all those things. But I also need you to take the lead. Like if something happens, I need to feel safe with you. I can't feel like if something happens, I got to protect you. No, baby, you got to protect me. I need to feel like I can walk on your arm and be safe, feel okay.
Like Huntress is saying in the comments, like, you don't look, they look for you. Yeah, I mean, I agree. But even when I'm ready to be sought out, I'm not ready to be sought out right now. I'm not ready.
Yeah, I was about to say, don't be too. Nah,
I don't want to be found.
You
So
young, you super young too, man. You got time. You need to just focus.
Man, turn up.
Get my degree. I'm gonna go work.
Nah, don't use that. Nah, don't listen to my mom on that one.
Listen.
Ain't no turn up.
What? At 22, I was dancing on bars. I was going home
No,
at 7 o'clock in the morning. Let me tell you something. At 22, I was already a paralegal. Okay. I was also in school 7 days a week. I had a career going already. I was still in school 7 days a week. And I was turning up, doing whatever I wanted, traveling with friends, partying. 22, your 20s, the way I see it, your 20s is one of the most forgiving decades.
Nope.
You can fall and get back up. Sorry, my dog is retarded. So excuse me. Oh God, I'm sorry.
Then you got to
Jesus.
drop you use that R word.
I know. I'm sorry.
You got to drop for a second. Let's cool it down. Yeah, they don't TikTok. Don't play with that word. I'm gonna get
But
you
yeah,
back.
so I thought I've been thinking about you since Saturday when this happened. I said, "Damn, I gotta tell him. I can't hide it. I gotta say it.
You
No,
already know.
no."
No, you good. You good, mom. You just gotta give it a second. You know how TikTok be. Hold on. Should be able to let you back up. But go ahead and continue saying your point that I gotta disagree with anyways when she finished saying her point.
No,
Because
that's
I'm against that living your 20s out stuff, man. I think a lot of us made mistakes and times ain't the same. But I'm gonna let
I
her
love living my 20s out. I'm having so much fun. Outside of him, like but you have to do so responsibly. Like
Yeah,
my
there you go.
20s
You know better. You know.
my 20s have been I'm at
Right, mama.
concerts and clubs, but I'm not dumb and I'm not going home and sleeping with people. You can go to a club and not catch a body too, but I think some people have a problem with that.
Well, there's nothing really. I let that go as soon as I turned 30. But I realized it was just nothing. It really wasn't. But
It
let
gets
me
boring.
let
Yeah,
mama rock
I'm
real
starting
quick.
to get bored. I'm not
I'm
gonna lie.
gonna let her rock. Then I'm gonna disagree after that. I gotta do the new mod like this. This my new mod. I see she been in here. I've been paying attention.
Who, me? Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay.
You notice that you. Yeah, you.
Oh, okay.
You notice that you upgraded.
I did not know. Okay. Let me upgrade you.
Right.
I'm still in my work clothes. I need to change. But yeah, Samantha, he was saying that finish what you're talking about your 20s being the most forgiving.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you ready to cut? See, you ready to shred me to pieces? But
you know it.
I do think that your 20s are one of your most forgiving decades. It is. That's the time when, if you want to change your major, you go ahead and do it. If you want to hang out with friends, and that's when you have probably the most energy. You know, you come home 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, go to class the next morning, do it all over again. Like there's so much room for error. By the time you're closer to your 30s, maybe even in your 30s, you should have a little bit more figured out. You know, and have a little bit more of a clearer path. But your 20s, you're still a baby and you're like a legal baby. I did a lot of stuff in my 20s, honey. Let me tell you. So I'm all for it.
I'm so dependent on my mom. I don't know. I definitely am like, whoa, I'm a baby. Like I can't imagine. Like my mom had me at my age, and I look at her and I'm like, how did you do that, mom? Like that's crazy to me. I still ask you to cash at me for McDonald's. Like I can't comprehend having to take care of someone that is not myself. I'm just now getting into the stage of like, okay, I want to move out soon. So it's very interesting seeing how different 20s can be for every single person. Like my little cousin has 2 kids at 22. Crazy. And then there's me, and now it's literally just me. So
yeah, I wouldn't compare myself to anyone because that's what makes people depressed. You know, it's like, oh, you are where you are supposed to be in your life. You know, anywhere else, if you were supposed to be anywhere else, you would have been there.
You would have been
You
there.
know, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to need to turn back. I always tell my kids, you will never have to figure it out by yourself. I'm going to let you try and figure it out. And if you can't, we're going to put our heads together and figure this out together. You know, you don't walk alone, but you can't be like, oh, I feel like I should be doing this. It's too much pressure that you're putting on yourself. You're doing just fine. You seem like I don't know you, but you seem like you have a good head on your shoulders. You know, you identified something that was concerning to you and you dealt with it, you know, and you moved on and you're moving on, and you should feel really proud of yourself for that.
thank you. Yeah, I'm trying. I mean, I guess I'm just partially still in shock because it's been 4 days.
Yeah.
And this is definitely someone that I thought I was going to marry, and I loved him so much, the whole 9, okay, young and in love. But I also am kind of seeing it as like I was making plans for my life that God had not co-signed off on, and I keep trying to say that I am this and I am that, but I can't be those things if I'm still not in accordance with what I'm supposed to be doing. Which, if you're not religious, that's fine. But for me, it definitely was a wake-up call for like, I'm planning my entire life around a man who I haven't gotten a ring from, I don't have kids with, and we've only been together not even a year yet. And so like we're making all these big plans to like move here in the next year and do this and then be married by this time, and then I need to be done with school by this time, and I need to have this figured out and this figured out. But now that I am again just myself, a 22-year-old young woman, I'm like, okay, finish school, move out. Or move out, finish school. Like however you want to do it. It doesn't matter as long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. There's no one else that you have to worry about right now except for you. And it's very like, wow, I could have been doing this the whole time. But yeah, I'm excited for young adulthood and just kind of doing it. It's hard, but I mean, I'm about to go back to be a dental hygienist. I'm about to be busting my butt. I was in school to be a business major, and I decided I didn't like that. Now I'm in banking, and I like banking, but I also like teeth. So I'm at a weird crossroads on what I want to do in my life. But yeah, adulting, yay.
Yep, I'm making that a topic. That might be tomorrow too. Now you gave me some more topics.
What's the topic?
20s.
I was just gonna say adulting
I ain't
is
gonna even
ghetto.
debate about it tonight. I'm gonna let y'all rock, but I'm talking about it. I had a topic on this before though. I'm gonna do it over again
The
though.
topic is going to be: do adults who have their parents more, are they more or less of adults than adults that have been on their own since 18? That's what I was going to say. Free range adults versus parented adults.
Free range adults, is that what you said?
Yes.
Like some chickens.
So I didn't want to come up here while y'all were having a serious conversation because I be on my shenanigans. Kev, I owe you a throat punch and you know it.
My throat already hurt.
Well, I'm about to make it hurt worse. You gonna get the turkey baster.
What?
Full of super thick gravy shoved down there and
Dang.
squeezed, man.
What did he do? Can we
Oh my
get
gosh, that's deep.
Wait, who? Hi,
Oh,
how are you doing today? How's your night? What's going on?
Right? Straight to violence.
Oh,
What
what
is
is
turkey baster?
I always do that to Kev because Kev always be on my toes and I don't like it. I don't like it. We had a conversation yesterday on his wifey's live, and he decided to say that some traumatic events wasn't as traumatic as they seem because people use it in the wrong terms. Which he
agree.
had a valid point. I'm not going to dispute that. But I took it personally instead of professionally, and I felt some type of way about it.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the trauma thing? Because I saw the live and I was crying into my pillow when you were doing that live, and so I didn't come up.
Oh, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
Kev,
I'm nosy, so I want to know why you mad.
where did he go?
Oh, I think he ran away from the turkey baster.
What happened? Oh.
Oh. He was like, wait a minute.
Oh, and it's every day all the time.
Okay. Stay there. I may redo my nails. I don't like
I
it.
was trying to look for this. I thought y'all were about to talk about a topic. Go ahead and rock
We're
it out.
talking about
They wanted to talk
trauma.
about something that
I feel
happened
like,
yesterday.
oh no.
Oh, I think it was the day before yesterday. Or was that 2 days ago? I think it was 2 days. I think it was Monday.
It definitely
Oh, that was
it?
Sunday. That was Sunday,
Are
actually.
you sure it was Sunday?
It was for sure Sunday. Yeah, because we didn't go live.
It wasn't your live. It was wifey's live.
Wait, Sunday. I went into somebody. Okay, never mind. It was Monday then.
So we were talking about financial abuse.
Mm-hmm.
And Kev, give him your side of this whole perspective of financial abuse.
Yeah, so I guess because I got caught off guard even hearing that because I guess I was jumping straight to the thing where I hear like a lot of, especially women, they use it as in like, and it probably wasn't the same way that she used it, of course, but I'll just jump straight to, someone be feeling like if you don't make enough money for them, they look at it as financial abuse, or if you, and then I'm like, what the heck? I think I just wanted to sum it up that it don't have nothing to do with the finance. It's just an abusive person that's just doing what abusive people do. You know what I'm saying? It can be many forms you can do it. You can hold anything over somebody's head or somebody's a secret over them. What is that? A secret abuse or whatever? So it's just like
It's blackmail.
I just look. Yeah, there you go, blackmail. There you go. But it's just I guess I was looking at it from that time. But then when I looked up, I found the way I looked at it, the definition that I seen it is really like I look at it that you can, and like I said, I can get enlightened more on it. But from what I seen, it just like you can. The way you get financial abuse is with your own money. I was hearing people saying it from other people's money, but it looked like, and I gotta probably read more up on it, but it looked like your own money. Like say if somebody messed your credit up and all that other stuff or whatever, that would be considered financial abuse. Or stuff like where your mother may have use your name in something or whatever, and then you grow up and your stuff done for, so stuff like that'd be considered financial abuse. It might be more I gotta look into though, but that's what it was. So but I think I got triggered because I'm like, man, dang, what is up? I felt like it was a woman thing. I'm like, oh, why everything gotta be even though I'm gonna make that a topic though, because it seems like everything is so abusive when it comes to women. And, they just everything, like you can't down there do anything. It's a staring abuse, and so I don't know. That's where I was coming from with that.
Well, I think, with financial abuse specifically, yeah, it definitely does exist even within marriages because
I can see that.
up until recently, I mean, women are just now being like, no, I want my own bank account. But we want our own things is to literally prevent against this abuse. And I'll say this too, like, if you have no idea how much your bills are because he's taking care of it because he's been the breadwinner and you were the stay-at-home mom, you have no clue what his credit score is because all of those things have been taken care of. You just know the bills get paid and you got a light and a roof over your head. Then you don't have any contextual awareness of finances. So when you do then need to be aware of finances, let's say you're at home with the baby and now you need money for formula, right? And he's like, okay, I'm only giving you $37.32 because I know how much the can of formula is. Some people may say that's financial abuse. I don't know. It depends on the stipulations that you have, but people definitely try to withhold money because they know that if they do not give you money, then you can't leave. And I had a girl that came because I work in banking now. So I had a girl that came into the bank and I've been sick for like a week and I talk to people. That's my thing. I connect with people at the bank and I was like, oh girl, you're sniffling just like me. Your allergies must be acting up. She's like, no, like I'm in love with a narcissist. He's a financial abuser. He wiped out all of the money in our joint accounts and put it in an account with only his name on it because he knew I was about to leave him. That is financial abuse, is trying to keep someone with you and withholding finances from them. So
all right, we can rock with that. I'm gonna let Hundreds go. Then I have a big question I gotta ask after that.
Okay.
So, from my perspective, it was from the military perspective because I was a military wife for a couple years, a military spouse for a couple years, and because we moved around a lot, there's not a lot of jobs that won't take you if you don't have a significant amount of history working. And when you move around a lot, it shows that you have a lot of holes, and unless you're in a yellow ribbon state, no jobs really take you. So that's the perspective I was coming from, is coming from being in a military type of background and having one person being the sole provider and him, like kind of what you said, I hope your name's Yana. Like you said, Yana, being allotted a certain amount of money, but when you need, like, for females, feminine hygiene products, basic necessities and things of that nature, and they're not giving you the money to be able to do those things, I consider that financial abuse. And that's when me and Kev kind of got into it, because he was like, well, you're saying if he loses his job. No, he has a job and he's not giving me the money that I need to survive in the house with him. So that was my perspective, but go ahead and ask your question, Kev.
Wait, so can you when that happened, what did it like? Was it the money that he didn't give you the money that you needed or the money you wanted?
The money that I needed. Like, so when he got out of the military, we moved into an apartment. He paid for the apartment for the entire year, which was great. he did get hurt in the military. So for the first year, we were okay. We were pretty much sailing by because the apartment was paid, we had lights, all the other good stuff. But when he had to go out and get a job, he refused to get a job, one. And then two, I was working and it went in his bank account and he wouldn't give me the money to be able to get the necessities that I needed for not only myself, but for my child at the time. And she was like a baby. I would literally only get enough money in my bank account to possibly put money in my car, put gas in my car and get a pack of diapers and maybe some formula. And I had a weekly stipend. So until I was able to get my own bank account, which, you know, with USAA, it's not always that easy, especially when you have joint accounts. It became very difficult. So that's where my family, and then luckily we had moved like 2 hours away from my family. So I just packed up my stuff, used the gas money I had and drove home. But not a lot of people are able to do that in the military. Sometimes you are all the way in Arizona and your family's in Florida. Actually, I'm not geographically sound. I don't know if that's very far away or not.
I think we get it.
There's a guy that comes into my branch like once a week, and he and his wife have been married for 58 years. He has no intention on divorcing her, but he wants to take his money out in small quantities and move it into an account without her knowing. And okay, it is your money, right? Like logically speaking, it is your money. But when you are moving funds maliciously without your partner knowing, that becomes a very dangerous game, especially when we're talking about you two are into your 80s. They've already acquired retirement. She has no way to get another. This woman is 88 years old. Like, she's not going to be able to get money. If this man were to hypothetically leave her, he's trying to move his money into an offshore account. So if they were to get divorced, there is nothing there for her. That is financial abuse, and she doesn't even know it, right? And he's kind of hoping that she'll be dumb enough to not notice that money is missing from their shared collected savings accounts for him to be able to get away with it.
So the problem with that is, first of all, that is a marital asset. You having that joint account, you are obligated to let that other person know what you're doing with these funds and where you're moving them to. If they do divorce in their 80s, he would have to pay her back all of that money, not half of it, but all of it, for being sneaky and trying to hide something that they should have equally shared. So he's kind of silly for doing that. And at this point, though, in your 80s, really?
But
that money's going to outlive you.
I think he was low-key trying to wire it to someone else. But that was the problem, is that, you're trying to withdraw a crazy amount of money and you don't have your cosigner here with you. We can't do that. Like, he's like, oh, well, are you sure you can't? No, sir, your wife has to be here. Both y'all's names are on the account. You're trying to move $48,000. No. So I don't know. I think men sometimes get confused with all the abuse words that women have. But the reality is that men have abused us in so many different ways that it's so hard for y'all to comprehend because you've never seen the other side of it. We as women have seen the other side of our grandmothers experiencing physical, mental, emotional, financial, all these different abuses that were under this one subcategory of abuse. So people were like, oh, well, your grandma wasn't being hit, therefore she was in a good relationship.
Hey, let me say this though. I just find it funny though. Like I always hear women say they get abused, but they never say the abuse that they give to the man though. That's the crazy part. But I do want to ask this though. Before I don't know if Hunter dropped already, but I was gonna ask, like, overall with the financial abuse thing, right? Can you be traumatized off that?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Like in what way? And show me how that go. Said abuse only go in one direction. Yeah, I noticed that, Evan. That's what I always wondered.
How can you be traumatized?
Explain, like, what do, because trauma, that's and my girl got me watching that too, to stop using that word so loosely because everybody be saying it, but it's like, so traumatized, right? Basically, it affects your it can damn near affect your current life right now, where
In what way, right? So do it brings an insecurity that maybe your partner might do that to you, or something like that? Is that what traumatized you?
You mean Huntress's situation, or just
Not
anything?
for all anybody that experienced financial abuse, that brings a trauma.
Yeah, I think anytime there's an insecurity, financial insecurity brings on food insecurity. If you don't have money, obviously you may not have enough money for food or the bare necessities. And having that, this is why a lot of elders have a hard time getting rid of things, because they've lived through extreme poverty. And so that trauma of being extremely poor is what basically shaped their brains to say, no, I might need this later, so I have to preserve it. I have to keep it because I might lose it. And so they sitting up in the houses with all these things that they haven't touched in 60 years, because there's an uncertainty, and especially during times of recession, during times of depression, things like that, where there's really no certainty. You don't know when you're going to get out of this financial rut. You don't know when, the economy is going to get better, when you're going to be able to provide. And don't let you be a parent where now, for me, before I had kids, I could have a bowl of cereal and go to sleep and be just fine. Now I have to make sure that there's enough food on the table for my whole entire family. So yeah, that financial insecurity, that financial abuse can certainly cause trauma. Now you're looking at the next person like, hey, are you going to do the same thing to me? Maybe now in this new relationship, I have both my husband and I, we have separate savings accounts. I don't touch that account at all. He doesn't touch, he may not touch. I don't know what the hell he does with this, but those are our accounts. And it's not that we plan our marriage with the thought of its demise, but as parents and as human beings, we also need to look out for ourselves. And I think people tend to have an issue with you looking out for yourself while you're in a committed relationship or in a marriage. And it's like, no, I need to make sure I'm okay first before I can make sure anybody else is okay.
Wait, hold up. Is you doing it during a relationship, or you doing it before the relationship?
My savings account?
Oh no, I was just saying, you were saying you got to look out for yourself and all that stuff.
Oh, always, always. I
I'm
first of
saying
all,
you doing that during the relationship or before the relationship?
always. I have to take care of me before I can take care of you. If I'm not okay, how can I make sure you're okay?
Don't you supposed to do that before you get in a relationship though?
No, you have to make sure you're okay your entire life. Nobody's going to take care of you like you. Nobody is going to take care of you like you. I'm kind of, getting away from your question, but to answer the current question, no one is going to take care of you like you. If your cup is empty, how can you pour into someone else's cup?
That's why you should. Isn't that why you shouldn't get in a situation with an empty cup?
You still have to keep filling that cup. You still have to keep maintaining that cup. You still got to keep washing that cup. You know what I'm saying? Like, you still have to take care of yourself. I'm not saying you're neglecting anybody. For me, God is first and foremost, but I have to take care of myself. And I don't mean take care of yourself in a selfish way. I don't mean saying, oh, well, you're thirsty. Well, too bad. I got something to drink, not you. No, it's saying I'm going to take care of me and my vessel so that I can then take care of you.
Okay.
I have to be my best. I have to be my healthiest. I have to be my strongest. I have to be my best. Otherwise, I'm just wearing myself out to give something I don't have. If I'm not okay, if you're not okay, how can you make sure someone else is okay? If you're not healthy, how can you make sure someone else is healthy? You got to be that strength for yourself to be that strength for someone else.
Can I challenge that thought real quick?
Of course.
Okay. I struggle with the idea that you say you have to look out for yourself so that you can look out for your husband. The reason
I don't
why
say look out. I said take care. Take care.
Okay, you have to take care of yourself. I
Yes.
agree with that. But when you made the point first, that's where I'm
Yes.
struggling.
Yes.
If you have to take care of yourself first, what is the expectation of your husband? Is it for him to take care of himself first as well?
When you get on short answer, yes. How can he take care of me if he is not taken care of? If he's not, I don't know if, I'm not the one who's, let's say if God forbid he
Your
gets sick.
answer was yes, correct?
Right. Let's say on a plane, when they ask you, do you want to sit in this emergency seat? You've got to put on your own safety jacket first before you can help anyone else.
Good example. Good example.
So it
However,
doesn't
when
mean
there's a sinking boat, they say women and children first. Why do they do that?
they always say women and children first. I don't know.
Oh, you don't know why? Just give it a
Chivalrous.
thought. Just give it some thought. Why do you think it is a common practice when the boat is sinking? Because you use the example of being in a plane and everyone has to strap on themselves. You're absolutely right. That's what they do there. But even if the plane is going down, I assure you they're going to say women and children first. So let's just contemplate what is the reason for it to be a normal occurrence that women and children go first. Why do you think that is, man?
It's chivalrous.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, I guess
Chivalry is part of it. What
I
else
guess
is there?
it's chivalry, protection. Maybe it's social. It's more socially acceptable. I'm gonna grasp at straws with that, but I'm also gonna say I'm raising both boys and girls.
Uh-huh.
Well, and I think that anyway. I'm gonna stat that. So let me not even because that's a totally different
Your
conversation.
answer is correct, but what you said, it is socially acceptable. It is the way things go. It is the thought process that humankind over the generations have learned that if we look out or take into account the least of us, and when I say least of us, the ones that are less likely to be able to deal with the repercussions of getting off this boat last, we're doing better for them. We're increasing the chances of everyone's survival. So the reality is, even though you have the mindset that I need to take care of myself first so I can be the best for you, the opposite gender is taking the mindset, I need to look out for you first. Regardless of what you may think, we will always be prepared to look out for you first and then concern ourselves about ourselves second, and that is particularly because we care about saving everyone. The idea that you might think taking care of yourself first and looking towards your husband later is the exact opposite of making sure everyone's going to do well. Do you
May I
agree with that?
disagree?
So
You
those,
No.
disagree?
so those
Don't
are
agree
Okay,
with that.
explain why you disagree. Go.
I don't agree with that.
Go ahead,
time
explain
out.
why.
Time
I
out.
did
Hang on a
notice that
second.
it is different from because I talked about that too before. I think it is different from like men and women. I noticed that they more. That's the reason why even like marriage is the way it is though. That's why if they not
Okay,
happy, they willing to get
But
their own
time out.
thing up.
I would
Hold on,
love
let me
to.
Can I
finish.
say
I
something
want to
real
hear
quick,
how they
Tito?
can
Let me finish real quick.
explain it.
I was about to say that. Yeah, right. But I'm about to just say that real quick. But yeah, I did notice that men are more sacrificing than women would be. You know what I'm saying? Because they like I gotta do me first, and then you know what I'm saying. I gotta be my best. But men like even if they like they mental is horrible, they gonna still make sure they take care of they
But
girl
that's
over.
the issue.
That's
That's the
it's
issue.
not an issue. That's just
How
how it
can
is.
we?
We
No, but
sacrifice.
that's because society has made it that way. There is nothing, in my opinion, and we're talking about in an emergency
You do that for
situation.
your loved ones
We're
though. That's
not. We're
exactly what
not.
you do.
We're not conflate. We can't conflate the two. We can't. If there's an emergency situation, everybody's gonna yes. So our first instinct is probably gonna be our kids. Hey, get the kids. Make sure the kids are good, and then yes, my husband is probably gonna make sure okay, my wife and my kids are okay or whatever. But for me, I'm gonna make sure okay, everybody else instinctively, my children, my husband, everybody I love, okay, we're okay. But on a day-to-day basis, if I'm not feeling well and I'm not taking care of myself, how am I going to get up and take care of y'all?
But wait, can I say something? Because this whole
I still haven't
conversation
heard the answer,
stemmed.
but go ahead.
This whole conversation stemmed from the whole savings account thing. And what I constantly hear men saying is, if I were to walk out on you, which we see time and time again, and I were to disappear, then you just need to be okay with that. but also take care of my kids, also make sure my kids are fed, and also wait until court tells you how much money I need to give you to make sure our kids are straight. So in any of this, you men tell us to be dependent on them, but then you guys get mad at us for being dependent on them, and you say, well, what if we lose a job? My kids still have to eat if you lose your job. My kids still have to eat if you leave me. My kids still have to eat regardless of what happens between you and I. My children have to come first, right? And if I'm solely dependent on you making sure that we are always good, we see that people fail. If people didn't fail, we would not have insurance. We
Woman
wouldn't have car
needs.
insurance. We wouldn't have home insurance. We wouldn't have anything to make sure that people that are doing something that they're not supposed to be doing are held accountable, right? So I think that in its
Yanni,
own
I don't know
right.
if either one of you guys ever addressed the question. It was a very clear,
Well, no, I
concise
was
question,
responding to
but you never
something
really addressed it. Do you
earlier
feel like you
because I
did?
didn't get to talk. So I was
Oh,
just
okay. Go
responding to
ahead.
something that you had said. And this
I'm
all
more than
stemmed
willing
from
to
the
hear.
savings account thing. So yeah,
I
no,
think
that
that's how
has to do
Is
with
it the
conversations go,
question that
right?
is
You
too
kind of
difficult
just.
to answer? Is that what it is?
I
no,
don't
because
even remember what the question
I don't
was.
either.
I'm
Because I
sure
was
you
lying.
don't
There we
because
go.
I'm happy to
you're
answer
really
it.
trying to run away from the question.
No, I'm not. She
Okay,
wanted to say
so I can
something.
reiterate
I
it. That's
was
no problem.
waiting. You don't
If
have
you
to.
want to listen, if you want to answer, I'll certainly reiterate it. I made the point that
Mhm.
over the generations, men have been conditioned and understood that for the overall survival of our community, our families, and our nation, that we are going to place women and children first. We allow that to be the norm because we understand as the stronger vessel, we are more likely to all survive if we put you guys first. And I ask you, do you think that is a good concept that we're doing it in that way? You both said no. I simply asked, please explain your answer. Why do you
No,
feel
that's not what
that
you
it?
had originally
Oh
asked,
my God,
actually.
you're telling me what I
Yeah,
asked? Okay, good.
I
Tell me
am
what
because
I
that's not
asked.
what you said.
Feel
But
free.
yes,
Tell me
it
what I
is.
asked.
Yes, it is a good thing to put women and children first because, like you said, if we're talking about the freaking Titanic, yeah, men are going to be the stronger swimmers, and you know that a child is not going to survive in freezing cold water. Yeah, off bat, forget the woman. You know the child's not going to survive, and you also know that who's going to take care of the child. So yeah, you're putting the woman to take care of the child, and the child that you know is not going to survive.
So
So
you changed your answer. Are you saying yes? You
no,
agree
I
to that?
never changed my answer. I was saying something to the whole savings account thing where you guys are like, "Oh, well, how are you supposed to take care of yourself if you're doing these things and you're not thinking about the man?" No, no one's saying that we're not thinking about the man. We're thinking about our children in
I
both of
think
these
we was
situations.
kind of referring it back to because you about to go all the way back.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
kind of
It's
off
a
what
whole
you talking
He
circle.
about
runs from
already.
the question every
We
time.
kind
She
of
don't. I
right.
don't know
That's
if
what
she
I'm about to say.
realizes
I
it or not.
It
literally
got to
just
be
answered
heavy
your
though because
question,
we was going
Evans.
to what Mama was saying, right? Or Mom, she said I got to take care of myself first before I can make sure I take care of my man. Basically, to sum that up, right? That's all we was going based off of.
Right. Yes. And just like I said before, just to be clear, I don't mean in an emergency situation. I just mean on a day-to-day level. So, if you, Kev, your girl says, you're not feeling well, and your girl's like, hey, can you, I don't know, can you come help me do this? Or you got to take care of yourself. You're not feeling well, and your girl's like, hey, can you, I don't know, can you come help me do this? Or you got to take care of yourself. And it's like, whether it's mentally, hey, you know what, I have to do something. Yes, we can help you. Something. Yes, we can help you. We are there for you. We're your partners or whatever. But at the end of the day, we're not in your minds, right? We're not in your bodies. We don't know what it is that you may need. We're going to help. If you tell me that, yes, I'm going to help you get that. But you still have to do the work to take care of yourself. You're the one that has to be the one to kind of take that medicine. You're the one that has to get up and take a shower. You're the one that has to get up and make sure that you brush your teeth. Like those basic day-to-day things you have to do for yourself. So then you can be like, okay, I'm good now. I'm up. I'm ready to go. What's up? What do you need? You can't do all that stuff if you can't do any of those basic things for yourself.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No one's gonna refute that. But the only distinction that I would disagree is when you said first, when you added the idea that you are taking care of yourself is obvious. It is absolutely obvious. We know we should take care of ourselves. We should be eating well. We should exercise. We should think about our mental health. All of that is fine and well. The problem I had with is an overall existence of our women and children first. And when you turn around in kind and say, I will take care of myself first. That makes all the difference. Because the idea of pairing up and getting somebody to marry you and to be with you and to build a family with you is the very idea of placing the wants, needs, desires, and the existence of your partner and your children before your own. If you get into this union and you continue to believe that you must put yourself first, it's not likely that you're going to
But I think
survive
these are
as a
two different
community or a
scenarios,
family.
though.
Do you
I
disagree
think
with that?
I do.
I
You
do.
cannot.
Please, okay. Now, please, before you answer, y'all heard the question. Now,
Yes, I heard it.
back up what you're saying because you don't agree with what I'm saying. Back it up. Don't go to something else and talk about something completely off topic. Explain to me how you don't agree that putting your partner and your family first isn't the better way. Go.
Like I've said, I think twice now, you cannot pour from an empty cup. If you constantly give without recharging, you're going to burn out physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever. You are going to burn out. People deserve you at your best. Okay, when you don't have that, when you are constantly giving without recharging, you are not at your best. So how can you possibly serve anyone if you're not at your best? You know, and also boundaries, they build respect. Saying no, setting limits, prioritizing your well-being teaches other people how to treat you and stops you from building resentment. Self-care is not being selfish, tending to your needs, rest, goals, health, eating well, exercising. These are things that allow you to show up for.
Just went back to caring for yourself, which I said is a constant, it's absolute. I'm asking you the distinction of taking care of yourself first. You're not addressing that. I don't know if you think you did, but you certainly didn't. You just said, I can't pour out of myself if I don't take care of myself. I can't pour. It's not about whether you take care of yourself. Absolutely take care of yourself. The question is, and it will continue to remain until you answer it, why do you put yourself first when men have been conditioned over the generations to put you first, but yet still caring for yourself? Why
Okay,
first?
just
Thank
because
you.
men
Go.
just because men have been conditioned that way, and yes, I agree with you. Society tells men, hey, no, you can't be put first, still does not make it bad. If a guy says, hey, you know what, listen, sometimes my husband's like, hey, look, I need, this is what I need. He's got to take care of himself as well. And I understand that. There's no, oh, well, you're the man, you're supposed to do this. No, I don't believe in shit like that. So, yes, I agree with you. Society has told men that you ain't shit if you're not putting everybody else first. I don't subscribe to that, though. Whether you're a man or a woman, in my opinion, you've got to put yourself first. And I will continue to say that. And I will continue to say you cannot pour from an empty cup. I've got to pour into mine before I can pour into yours and theirs.
Okay.
That's a woman. Oh. I always noticed that. I hear that though. I think I heard, and that might have to be a topic though, because I always noticed that though. Oh, I talked about that a few times though. I noticed that the majority of women like, hey, I gotta focus on my first. If it ain't no happy me, there can't be no happy family. Everything like is kind of centered around that. I'm not saying that but I'm just saying I just noticed that's their point of view. It's a whole different point of view from male.
That whole, happy wife, happy life. My what I say is happy spouse, happy house.
Yeah.
We both have to be okay. We both have to take care of ourselves first so we can together take care of our home, take care of our family, take care of our children, and so on and so forth, do what we need to do. So yes, my husband has to put himself first in some ways. I'm not saying, I don't know if I'm articulating myself well enough, but I'm not saying like if my house is burning down, I'm gonna run out.
That's particularly what you're saying. You know that.
But that's not what I'm saying. So I'm not talking about in an emergency situation. There's not an emergency. My house is not burning down every single day.
Okay.
God forbid that happens. Absolutely. I'm not going to be first. I'm going to make sure everybody else is okay. But
I'm going to give you a
day-to-day, it's
scenario
different
that's not
story.
an emergency. You're every day for the next year, you are putting yourself first. That means based on your wants, needs, and desires, I am going to cook what I want. I'm going to spend my money the way I want. I'm going to care for the family the way I want. And in every instance, I'm putting myself first. How long does it take before he recognizes that you're not doing the best that you possibly can for the family, but you're certainly doing the best for yourself? How long do you think that relationship will last?
So that's not what I mean. And
Okay.
what you're saying is, and that's not putting yourself first. That's really just being selfish. There's
That's
two,
what putting yourself
but we're
first
not,
is in a
it's not,
relationship.
it's
That's
really not,
selfish.
it's really not selfish.
You know?
When it can go too far is if you're ignoring other people's needs. If you're saying, you know what, I don't care what you need. I don't care what you want. I don't care whatever, or you're using people to get ahead. You're lacking empathy or accountability. Yes, that's where it becomes an issue.
Are you
But
married right now?
yes, I am. I'm
If
happily
your
married.
husband never opened the door for you, if your husband never considered what you want to eat, if you're never, I'm sorry, let me not say never. That's the wrong way to put it. If your husband never put you first, never considered your wants, needs, and desires first, do you think you would still love him?
I don't think you're understanding what I'm trying to say. And I think that
Maybe I'm not.
what you're saying is more in a perhaps material context. What I'm saying is in a more physical context.
Explain.
Evans,
That's
can
what
I
I
take a
mean.
poke
That's
at it?
what I mean.
Oh yeah,
That's what
absolutely.
I mean by I've got to put myself physically. I need to take care of myself before I can, take care of anybody else. I need to make sure I am okay. If I'm not mentally, let's say I've got some mental health issues and I'm here struggling and my mental health is in the tank, how can I effectively take care of anyone else better? No. I feel shitty. I feel like shit. My mental health is in the tank. I don't, I'm depressed or whatever it is that I'm dealing with, and I have to take care of you guys.
Damn.
What?
We're not interrupting anyone. Thank you.
Anyway, so I don't mean like, oh well, I decided I'm gonna have Chinese for dinner. I don't care what y'all have. I don't care about stuff like that. I just mean in a physical sense. That's all I'm trying to say. That's literally what I've been saying for like 20 minutes now.
Let me take a poke at it.
After
Sis.
you go there, I'm gonna let Bob go. Then I gotta call it a night because everybody came in, so I gotta get off this thing.
Okay, I got you. What's going on, everybody?
What's up?
The way sister it is coming across extremely selfish. For one, guess what? You normally don't decide. Your husband is the leader of the family. So for him, he gets to decide to say, hey, guess what? In this mindset, we know that absolutely if you had to choose between the kids and him, you should pick the kids, but you still allow his opinion to be heard and be voiced and take his opinion first over yours. That's what Evans is saying. It's about the mindset in which you have. Because guess what? When we're on our last, we're always thinking about our wives. We're thinking about our kids. It's not that we don't care about, ourselves. It's just the mindset that men have. Because guess what? At the very end of the day, like you said, it's not an emergency. Men think almost every decision that we make is an emergency. And that's the problem. Like this is where this partnership thing comes from. And then it feels like that we both get to decide. No, we both don't. My decision is the first decision. Now, hey, if I'm not present, well, then my wife, she's the representative to me. She knows how I think. She knows how I will go about that situation. But what you guys do, you start saying, hey, well, you know what? Well, I'm just going to do it my way. Well, it's not your way. It should be your husband's way. So it's your mindset in which Evans is talking about. He's strictly just saying that, guess what? We're not saying that you have to put us over you all the time. And I always tell my wife, as long as you worry about me more than I worry about you, I'll do the same. And so therefore it'll be much more balanced. Don't worry about how your cup being full. I'll make sure your cup is full, that you can operate with my kids. You don't worry about that, and she should do the same for me. My cup shouldn't run out because she's thinking about me more. Therefore, there's a balance.
But physically, you can't fill my cup physically. If I'm exhausted and I'm beaten down to the bone, you can't do that for me.
Man,
If
Hold on,
I'm
hold on,
sick,
hold on, hold
if
on,
I'm
hold
sick,
on.
please stop that shit, please.
Hold on,
Please
hold on,
stop.
hold on. Why
Why?
can't I know when my wife is tired, and then I tell her, hey baby, well, go ahead. Look, I'll keep the kids. You go out to the spa and you have yourself a good time. I say when she's ran down, I get it. Now, if that's not what these men are doing, well, I don't know what to tell you. You're picking the wrong men,
If I
the
can't
wrong
fill your
leaders.
cup, baby, if I can't fill your cup, then what the fuck I'm here for you for? I'm listening.
That's Bob. That ain't me, y'all.
What I'm asking? If I can't fill your cup, sweetheart, your husband fill your cup, then what can he do for you?
I'm sorry. I don't know if if I'm not articulating myself well enough. First of all, I don't know this bot person, and I'm not about to. If you're coming at me in a condescending way, I will not respond. I will not entertain. But as far as me and mine, we're good over here. I know that when I need I know that when I need to take care of myself physically, that is what I need to do.
You said you can't fill my cup.
No,
You can't? What? Why? Because it got holes in it?
no, because he can't sleep for me. He's not going to brush my teeth for me. He's not going to give me a shower if I need a shower. I need to do those things for myself. That's part of self-care. That's part of me taking care of
That's your
myself.
responsibility, sweetheart. That's automatically you should
But that's
do
part
that.
of me taking care of myself. That's why I keep saying physically, these are the things I need to do for myself. I don't know if you've heard that the several times I've said that ad nauseum. Those are the things I need to do for myself physically. Anything else, yes, that is between me and my husband. Yes. I'm not fully disagreeing with you. All I'm saying is from a physical standpoint, yes, I need to do those things for myself.
All I'm saying, though, we all brush our teeth. Take ours. That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man. You come on now.
All right, y'all. We gotta do the close. I'll be back on the state of tomorrow, so but I'll be back on the any last words, anything? Good to see you, Evans. I ain't seen you in so long, man. My boy good in the building.
Good to be on your panel again, brother.
For
That's
sure.
always good to be on your panel. It's
Yeah,
always
my new
fun and
mod, man. I know
interesting.
we heavy on you. This my new mod job, but we
Oh, I don't care. I got thick skin, honey. I
Hey,
don't
there
care.
you
And I
go.
don't
That's
know that
what
many
I like
people.
about you. That's why you in. That's why you my mod. But
Good
yeah,
night, you guys.
hopefully I'll see y'all tomorrow. Though, we're about to get a different topic on, but appreciate y'all.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Yep.